Check, check, check. We are back. All right. We are live. Got about a minute. Guys, we got ooh, today. Right at 5 o'clock. All right, you guys. Still smoking show back in the basement with your boy Shard. Um Tonight, of course, we're doing Parole more times. The first time really doing it officially live. I've been covering cases for about 2 to 3 years, but I'm gonna be honest, tonight is gonna be hard to watch. It was definitely hard for me to listen to a couple of these stories, and not because it's anything that I've never heard. Um, in the United States, especially, and I know we have viewers around the world. We're super desensitized to um, a lot of things by a number of things, but also just how common and how often they happen. But there are things sometimes that just, I mean, what words can you do? In the case of the one that we're about to look at first, one Henry Scott, he's um, was convicted and up for parole for, honestly, in my humble opinion, the most heinous and I don't know, inhuman thing that you could do. And on top of that, to do it to his daughter, you know, daughters, and one of which ended up pregnant at 14 years old. And, the trauma that she speaks about bravely during this hearing just took me aback, man. It just made me realize, honestly, two things. Firstly, that, there really is evil out there. We see the common evil with the governments and everything like that, but just real evil out there, and it could be very close by. This girl, when you hear her speak, her father, wow, and the nonchalantness of the way he speaks just really took me aback. And when we do this today, it isn't even really about parole or more time. When I ask that, generally, I'm looking for you to tell me if you parole or give them more time. But this is more about just let's be human, man. And this makes me realize that I need to get right um, with my children. And more importantly, my child. I've reconnected and made sure that I'm trying to take care of business. Um, but I have a loose end, and seeing this, makes me wonder myself, like, sure, what kind of man are you? Um, to not check on your daughter every day, you know? And so we're gonna get started. Parole one more time. This first hearing, like I said before, it's gonna be tough to watch. If it's anyone under the age of 18, please go ahead and click off. Or I have no idea. Here we go. First case, Henry Scott, correction number 124438. I don't even know where to begin, so I won't. We'll just go to the case. All right, you guys, let me know what you think. Parole or more time. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Again, let me know when you guys get in here where you're from. You know what you guys feel about the criminal justice system as a whole, no matter where you're from? Do you not care? You know, I told my wife we were getting ready to go live. I asked her if she wanted to come down, and she told me point blank, you know, Rashad, I don't really get enjoyment out of a little more time. You know what you guys think? Case is getting started. Again, this is when John Scott and you know, he's currently serving or has served 23 years, charged with aggravated incest and convicted on May the 14th, 2019. His victims were his daughter,
Good morning.
one of which
Committee
became
on Parole
pregnant.
is called back to order. The time
He
is
also bragged that he
9:08.
has 17
Our
children. Let's go.
remote location is Raymond Laborde Corrections. First case is going to be Mr. John Scott with the faculty at Raymond Laborde. Please introduce themselves.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Deputy Warden Donnie Bartlon.
Joseph born on records.
Lara Hermanson classification.
John Scott, you make, oh,
Thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Scott, now it's your turn. Mr. Scott, would you give us your full name and DOC number?
John Henry Scott, 124438.
Pay attention to
Mr.
voices
Scott,
too.
let me explain our process to you.
Yes, sir.
First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At
When
the
I hear them
appropriate
speak,
time,
I'd
we'll
imagine
allow
this would
participants
probably
who
be what a
indicated they
slave
wish to
sounded like.
speak to have their input. Currently, today, we have someone speaking in opposition. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter.
By somebody, his daughter. And you know, how do they say at concert, she brought the house down. I don't think he was getting out anyway, but after that.
Of John Scott, DOC number 124438, date of birth March 7th of 1953. He has a parole eligibility date of August the 1st of 2021. He's not eligible for good time. He has a full term date of August the 3rd of 2039. He is currently serving a 40-year sentence on the charge of aggravated incest after having been adjudicated a habitual offender. That sentence was pronounced on May the 14th of 2019.
And he's
Mr.
already
Scott,
up for
is that
parole.
basically correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Scott, your case has been assigned to Mr. Pete Freeman. Mr. Freeman will be the first one on the panel to begin the interview process. Would you please answer any questions?
Here we go, you
may
guys.
have?
You're gonna get to see a real
All
live
right.
monster tonight. Listen to this.
Okay, Mr. Scott, how old are you presently?
69,
Okay, and how many years have you served on this charge?
23.
Okay. Scott, tell me a little bit about what happened that day. I mean, what went on? What was going on in your mind?
Well, it was just a lot of frustration, anger. And
What?
I basically did what the victim said I did, but I didn't complete the rape
He's-
charge.
You mean
Stop.
Wait a minute.
You
What?
stopped, but you didn't
Yes.
start.
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I attempted, but I never
Oh,
had
my.
sex with her. I never raped her.
I attempted. This is his daughter, you
Okay.
guys. This is his
Did
daughter.
you bring some clothes with you to change and had a blanket in the woods waiting for this victim?
Oh.
You didn't bring no clothes with you to change into after the rape?
Brought a
So I had
change
some
of
clothes with me,
clothes
but
for
then I was
sex
going out of town to do a
after
job
his
in
daughter.
Surfport. It was in the Circuit City over there on Burcoon.
Okay. Well, tell me about your other daughter. Did you ever rape your other daughter?
Which one?
The daughter that you thought was pregnant.
No, sir.
Well, what happened there? I mean, she's just lying and saying that you didn't try to.
She gonna a woman gonna lie and say her daughter, her daddy
Well,
raped her.
all that's basically tied in. I really don't want to talk down on my family no more. You know, the damage that already been done, and I mean, if she said I did it, and basically if that's the only way I could go ahead on and redeem myself, okay, yeah, I did it.
I mean, I don't want you just to try to redeem yourself. I want to know what was going through your mind and why did you think you had to do these things? two young girls.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I don't care to talk down on them because there was a lot going on at that time, and I basically was trying to stop it and got caught up.
I mean, what was going on at that time?
Oh, well,
Man, I hope somebody's in the house to hear this shit.
oh,
I
hate
hope
to look,
somebody's in the house.
well, the, well, it all started back when one Sunday I was sitting on the train track. I was disgusted because of the things that was going on at my apartment. And when the mother go to work, I would always stay gone because the girls was always trying to cross me out because of the things that they were doing, and I was trying to stop it. So I met this little girl on the train track that Sunday, and she asked me what was to do in my hometown, and I told her basically nothing. So I thought
This
about it.
don't make no sense.
She
Remember,
might
he
be
was
a
asked
good
why he
influence
raped
on my
his
daughter,
daughter.
so I
What is
carried
he
her home with
talking
me.
about?
And a couple of days later, when I came from work, the mama told me, said, "You remember that girl you brought home?" I said, "Yes." She said, "My daughter had jumped on and beat up." I said, "For what?" So when she told me, I didn't think nothing else about it. So a few nights later, I was walking over into this, the hills of Graham subdivision,
World, what is he
and I
talking about?
took a shortcut across the baseball field.
Listen to
And I
this.
come back the same way.
Watch this.
And I heard a bunch of voices off in one of the dugouts. And I stopped to peep in to take a look, see what was happening.
Evil. Oh,
So it
man,
was
why?
about 5 or 6 dudes in this dugout with this little girl. And I couldn't see who it was because the light only shined so far down because it was a dugout. They stayed down off in a hole. And I could see from
This
the
dude is
picture
a
from there
predator.
down, but I couldn't
Listen.
see the face up. So I didn't know who it was.
He saw a
So
girl getting a
she
train
would
ran
pick
on her,
one at a
basically.
time and walk down to the football stadium with them and come back, take another girl and come back. And when they come back the last time, they saw me and then she said, "I know
That
you." I
guy,
said, "I know you
hey,
too."
he might
She
be a
said, "I'm gonna
serial killer.
call the police
I'm being
because
for
you
real.
tried to rape me." So she called the lady, and the lady that came was a young lady that I went to school with named Doris Hassel. And she told the officer that I tried to rape her. And she asked me, "Was it true?" And I said, "No." I said, "Let's go up to the town hall and make her tell the truth." So we went to the police station and she got the girl in the back to talk to her, and she scared her some kind of way. And the little girl told her what happened and told her that she had lied on me. And that basically turned out to be the little girl that I found on the train track that I took home. And come to find out, my daughter jumped on her and beat her up because
What
of
that got to do with
I think it
raping
was a
your
20
daughter,
year
y'all?
old boy that was called my daughter that was in the dugout with her and 3 or 4 more guys. I didn't know who it was. I didn't see the face. She was the one that told him who it was. I didn't know.
And why is your old
So
ass
that's
by
how
a
everything.
dugout at a
That
school?
really had nothing to do with
Are y'all paying
the
attention?
race of what?
It didn't, but that was the influencing part. I mean, this little girl was the one that planted that seed. I never raped my daughter.
Okay, you claiming you're innocent. All right, let's move on. How many children do you have?
All together,
Yeah,
I've been told 17.
you've been told 17.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any contact with any of these kids?
Yes, sir.
Which ones you have contact with?
Johnette, my baby daughter by my wife, and my oldest daughter by my wife.
And there's no use for me to ask, what would you say to the victim? Because you claim there was no victim.
What do you say?
Said you claimed there was no victim.
Mm.
He was
On this
saying
one?
there's no need for him to ask you, what would you say to the victims? Because you're saying you didn't do it.
Mm.
Well, I apologize for my action. And I take full responsibility for everything, you know, but I'll plead guilty just to go ahead and just keep from talking down on my family. I'll take the charge because I done did the time.
You have very strong law enforcement opposition. The DA says that you already got a reduced sentence in a plea bargain. And all others are opposed. Your family, Keisha Scott, your niece, she's not opposed, but everybody else is opposed. Tell me about these 2 escape charges. What was that about?
Check this out.
Escape charges?
He a storyteller.
In Rapides and in Lincoln.
Okay, the one in Lincoln, it basically happened behind a young girl that I was in love with, and I did it because she told me to do it, and
Told you to
I got,
escape?
sir,
Told you to escape?
yes, sir. No, I escaped by myself. She told me to do it, and I did it, and I was caught in January of '80, and I will change from January to August, and there was a minister that lived next door to my grandfather that was working out there as a guard. And the toy truck blew up on him one day, and that hot toy shot all 350-degree toy, and it burned all the skin off him. And when he come back from the hospital, they made him the jailer down to the courthouse. So he still had to come out there where we was at to get the food for the inmates up in the jail. And he told me he was going to get me down there to be trustee. And I made trustee even after escape.
Oh, okay. All right, what was the aggravated battery charge in Lincoln Parish about? I see
That
it
was
was but what was it about?
on a police officer.
Yeah.
Okay. The young lady that I had the 3 girls by, Cat on, she was quoting the girl brother that I had 9 kids by, and
What?
he had tried to run over me 3 different times with my children in the car with him. And if I hadn't heard them screaming and hollering, I would have known he was finna run over me, and I jumped out of the way. And when I jumped up trying to catch him, I never could catch him because he was in a car and I was walking. So one day I passed by her apartment, and the kids was outside playing, and they called me and told me, "Mama said, come here." So when I went inside to talk to her, she asked me would I come fix Thanksgiving dinner for him because she was sick. And I said, yeah. So when I got ready to leave, this guy came through the red light, and he saw I had a 2x4 across my shoulder, and he stopped when he saw the 2x4, and he went on the seat of his car. And when I ran across the road, they hit him with 2x4. The police jumped out and run up there and stuck his hand between them. And as I was coming down 2x4, it hit the police on thumb and thing. I don't know whether it broke it or what. But the judge told me, said the only reason why he wasn't going to give me 5 years
Said,
was
I don't
because
know if I
the
broke it
police
or
officer
not.
said that I was hitting at someone else.
God dang.
Okay, what have you learned from the classes you've taken since you've been in prison?
Ooh, it's been so long since I finished that anger management,
What?
but it was a nice subject. And I wished I could remember all of it. Every time I got shook down, I lost paperwork, and I couldn't keep up with it to keep it in my head. It's only maybe 3 or 4 of them that I can remember.
About the
And
sex class, what you learned from that?
From who?
Sex offender class, sex offender treatment.
Well, I learned a lot from it, but basically I can't remember it because they threw away all my paperwork. But the 27 risk factors, I liked them, but I can't remember but 2 of them. That's blame and
I
denial.
liked them.
The rest of them will come to me as I think about them. But just off top, I can't remember.
What else, Siobhan?
Okay, your custody is medium, you've had 12 write-ups. Last one was in 411 or 14. Warden, what can you tell me about Mr. Scott?
Not a whole lot. He hasn't.
Siobhan,
been
how
here.
long
He's
you
only
been here?
with
He
us for a couple of months.
this is the guy
Hasn't
that
been any problems.
R-worded his daughter.
Us. I do feel that he does need additional sex offender treatment since he really can't remember. It didn't really sink in whatever he took. So.
Thank you, Warden.
We'll now hear from the opposition.
What part? I went to Jacksonville State, so I'm familiar with, Atlanta and whatnot.
Good morning.
Good morning. Would you please tell us what you'd like us to know, please?
Yes, sir. To the board, first, I just want to say a huge thank you for allowing me this opportunity. As many survivors often lose their voice.
Here we go, you guys. This is
I
daughter.
speak
This
today with the hopes of you
I woke
hearing
out of my
me,
sleep this morning
as
hearing
doing
this.
this often feels like re-victimization. You asked why my father, John Henry Scott, should or should not be released from prison on parole. Here are a few reasons he should not be released, but know that this list could go on and on. I understand that laws and policies change, but natural life in prison should be just that. I have to live with this every day. More specifically, I told you in my last letter how this affects me, but here it is up to date. On Mother's Day, May the 8th, 2022, was the worst day I could have as a mother. Instead of celebrating motherhood, I was triggered because this was the day that I was raped by my father. On
Mm.
June the 2nd of 2022, I had another surgery to help my soon to be born baby, Mr. Scott's grandchild, to come into this world safely. These stitches, also known as the cerclage, will not be removed until I'm about 37 weeks. This is all due to the trauma and scarring my father caused to my cervix. I have now had a total of 3 surgeries due to his raping me. Man said that I wouldn't be able to have children, and as complex as it sounds, God saw differently. He not only blessed me with 1, not 2, but soon to be 3 children. Would you like for this to be your daughters, granddaughters, or wives, etc.? I believe that if he did it to me and my sister, he would do it to others. What life does he know outside of prison walls? Do you want to protect our communities and our state? On July the 2nd,
Hopefully you aren't driving,
2022,
Siobhan.
I was triggered by my own reflection because all I saw was my father, Mr. Scott. I am his splitting image. I was triggered knowing that this day would come. Do you want this for our communities? Of
Mm.
course, your loved ones may not be related to him, but victims face self esteem issues, suicidal ideations, PTSD, and so much more. And even if you place restraining orders on him, he will tread up to the fine line because he's very clever. For example, if you say not to go within 100 feet, he will stalk and watch at 99 feet. In fact, the days when authorities were looking for him, he was watching everything from the loft and so much more. What I'm saying is, a criminal often knows how to work around the laws. They
Mm.
know how to attack in ways that victims don't leave marks, bites, and bruises, which is our God given
This is
natural
his
strength.
victim, his daughter.
That was me. I couldn't scream due to socks being stuffed in my mouth. I was tied so that I couldn't fight back.
Man, this give
And
me
let's not
chills.
forget that Mr. Scott's smartness
Mm.
to cut every hair and eyebrows off of his body. That was his efforts to leave no evidence. That was our plan. A father who rapes his 14-year-old daughter, then contemplates kidnapping her, would do the same to yours. Again,
Shaved all the hair off his body. Brought an extra set of clothes to do this to his 14-year-old daughter. That's not a predator. That's a serial killer. We need to when you guys get time, go back and listen to this from the beginning. This isn't no the way he
I
said he
ask you, do you
watched the
want
little
this to be your
girl
loved
at the
one?
dugout.
Lastly, if you are concerned about his age, that means nothing to me.
Yeah, I
My
got
father was
chills.
older then and
This
he
is
knew right
deeper.
from wrong. Doesn't
Look at
the
him.
same apply? No matter how old I get, rape has affected every aspect of my life, from self esteem to parenting to trusting, intimacy, childbearing, and being able to trust the courts and law enforcement to certain degrees. I ask you, do you want this to be your loved one?
Mm,
I believe you get the picture. Just keep our
look at my
families,
guy, the
our
heavy guy,
communities,
the
and our
parole,
state safe
I can't
by
even
keeping
speak.
my father, John Henry Scott, in prison. God bless you.
Mm,
Thank you very much, man. We appreciate the
I
courage
can't even
and
get my words,
opportunity
Siobhan.
you can take to talk with us. Thank you. Mr. Scott, anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
No,
I
Siobhan,
understand.
they didn't have her on
Is there
camera.
anything you wish to say to the board before we
Ooh,
vote? Would you like to make a statement to us, or would you like to say anything at all to us?
ooh.
Yes. No.
Thank you. Mr. Freeman?
First off, I want to thank that victim for speaking. I know it takes a lot of courage, and we
Man, I
really
can't even.
appreciate it.
I'm at a loss. I ain't
You
even
know,
bullshitting
Mr.
you.
Scott, you're in total denial, even though all the evidence points out to the fact that you did rape your daughter.
Mhm.
And I just can't see giving you a chance right now until you can
I'm
admit
like,
your own
man, I can't even sit
demons
still.
and let yourself become to grips with
No,
what you
parole board,
did.
don't lie to him.
So
He's
at
not
this point,
redeemable.
I'm gonna vote to
This
deny
isn't
you.
redeemable. Not
Thank you
redeemable.
very much.
Likewise, you don't need papers with you to have learned something. It should be in you.
Siobhan, me either. I swear,
You
man.
have
Like this,
no
I woke up
insight
out of, I was asleep
whatsoever
and I was hearing
as to
something in my
what
sleep.
you did, how horrible it was, how much you damaged the victims in this case. You talked about the theme that you remember with denial, and I forgot what the other thing you said. But you're doing both of those things. You
Look
just
at the
haven't
prison.
learned
Look at
anything.
the prison
And
workers.
so
The
perhaps
heavy
you
set
need
one,
to
he
repeat
can't even
all the
move.
things of executive
Look at
treatment,
him.
but I'm not entirely sure that that's going to help. Because you convince yourself, lie to yourself about what happened. And I don't know if there's anything that's going to change that. But because of the a strong opposition from the victim as well as law enforcement, my vote today is likewise to deny.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Mr. Scott, my vote likewise is the same for all the same reasons. I do hope that you repeat sex offender treatment. Think about what it is you did. You pretty much admitted the crime of rape. You say you didn't complete it,
My question, you
but
guys,
you really
is
need to
how are we even here
understand the
for parole?
significance of what you did.
How do we even
I
get
hope
here?
that you can get some deep understanding of what you did and what you did to your daughter. Good luck to you. We've done it. Warden, thank you very much for your help. The time is 9:28. We'll be adjourned at Raymond LeBoard.
I I think that I'm not even gonna stick on here too long. I'll probably come back and have to watch it and come back and comment again. But I'll say this: the respect or lack thereof um, for little girls, for women, for little black girls, um, the sexualization of little kids and younger girls just developing and just growing up, and men um, looking at them in ways that not only do we know is inappropriate, obviously illegal, and for it to be her father to do something like this, like man, like I said, I'm when I get done tonight, uh, fuck what I got going on. I'm gonna call my daughter and I'm apologize. You know what I mean? Because like, who protect that little girl? It's supposed to be her father, right? Supposed to be her father, and that's the one that did her like this. She said she's had countless surgeries, countless surgeries. You know, um, I don't know what to say. We're gonna go ahead and get ready for the next hearing. Case number 2, we have Elze Parole. This is an interesting case about a former judge, right? Who on June 25th, 2018, a grand jury indicted Elze Jeffrey Parole with 2 counts of indecent behavior with the juvenile. Remember, at the time, he was a sitting judge. That occurred on May and June of 2017. We cannot say allegedly because he was convicted. Both of those were counts 1 and 2. Sentencing was reset from the original date to October 2020. He was sentenced to imprisonment for hard labor for 4 years and 6 months. And then on the other charges, I think there were 3 or 4, they were stacked on and were to run consecutively. So for a total of about 14 years. But I thought this case was, first of all, not only interesting, but I mean, it was a nail biter because he is not only adamant that he didn't do it, but like some of the inmates that he probably sentenced, he has his own conspiracy theory about what was going on and why and how all this happened. So, we're going to go ahead and check this case out. I want to know what you guys think as far as whether you would give Parole more time, and more importantly, do you believe this judge? Do you believe his story, what he said? Because I'm gonna be honest, for me, man, it don't matter because we really need to check out what kind of relationships we're having with children and kids anyway. So give me 1 second. We're gonna get this one pulled up. And once again, let me know if you guys would give parole or if you would give more time. All right, here we go. Mr. Good Old Parallel. So everybody gets in here and let me know where you guys are from. That's not Mr. Parallel there. Got 5 cases. You know what? While I'm doing this, I might as well get my festivities started. There we go. All right. Sorry about the difficulties. I've got them all lined up back to back to back. So here we go, everybody. This is Mr. Parallel, the former judge, up for parole. Let me know what you guys think. Parole or more time? Abuse of power, man, is super prevalent in this country. I don't care what the occupation, what they do. Man, everybody's equal to me. I think everybody's capable of evil, and this mental notion that some people, whether it's their job or whatever, are above lying, committing evil acts, is sick and crazy to me. Go.
All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is called to order. It is 9:02 a.m. on Tuesday, October 1st, 2024. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's parole
Mr.
panel.
Knotts is
My
back.
colleagues on the panel this morning, seated to my left is Mrs. Stapleton, and to my right is Mr.
I need to get a
Barr.
lighter. I'll be right back, you guys.
We are at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge.
Siobhan, y'all
with
drive
staff
safely.
here
Safely.
at DOC headquarters. Please introduce yourself for the record.
Cody Watson. Francis Abbott.
Okay, and we are ready for our first case, and that would be Mr. Parallel. Mr. Parallel. I'm not sure if I can. There he is. Good morning. We are at David Wade Correctional Center. Good morning, Warden. Would you and your staff please introduce yourself for the record?
Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. Michelle Dozat, Warden.
Lieutenant Colonel Elizabeth Savage. Darren Allen, Executive Staff Officer. Catherine Van Winterswijk, Mental Health.
Danny Henshaw, classification.
Great, thank you. Thanks for accommodating us this morning. Good morning, Mr. Parallel. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and your DOC number, sir.
Sure, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Elsie Jeffrey Parallel. My DOC number is 755-998.
Okay, thank you, sir. And let me acknowledge the folks who joined us before we get started. We have here with us in Baton Rouge at DOC headquarters, we have Alicia Parallel, Greta Dewey, Shannon Weber, and Valerie Parallel. Valerie will be speaking in support, and we'll call on her at the appropriate time to do that. We also have representing the victims by Zoom, Rochelle Guidry, Leon Guidry, Keith Potard, and Rachel Potard. Ms. Guidry and Mr. Hotard and Ms. Hotard will all be speaking at the appropriate time. We'll call on them to do
Hey,
so.
let me know.
First, Mr. Parolu, I'm going to read some identifying information into the record.
I still got
ask you
that
to
chill from the
verify
last
it.
one.
Then we'd like you to take a moment to tell the panel why you believe we should vote favorably for you today. We'll hear from the ward, those people who indicated they'd like to speak. Then we'll start our parole interview with you. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Barra. He'll take the lead on the interview. So, Mr. Parolu, you are classified as a first felony offender. You're currently serving a 13-year, 6-month sentence, having been sentenced in October 19, 2020. 3 counts of indecent behavior with juveniles. You received a 4.5 year sentence.
Absolutely,
on
Siobhan,
each of
power
those
corrupts.
consecutive.
Like, think about it. Why wouldn't I?
Your parole eligibility.
And you know what's
date
crazy?
is
The good
April
people like
12th,
me and you operate on a
2025.
different
You don't
mental
earn
plane
good
than them.
time, and your full term date is
But the
April
question
12th,
becomes, should we?
2034.
Is there
that
such thing as
information
being
correct,
good?
Mr. Parolu?
Yes, ma'am, that is accurate.
So would you take a moment and tell us why you're in jail and why do you believe we should vote favorably for you today?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity.
Those of you guys
first of
coming in,
all,
let me
I
know where you're
appreciate
from.
it.
This is Parole or More
As you
Time.
mentioned earlier, I
We've
was
got a
convicted
former
in
judge
2020 of
convicted.
3 counts
Here we
of
go.
indecent behavior with juveniles. I was sentenced consecutively 4.5 years on each count for a total of 13.5 years. Since I arrived here at David Wade, I have participated in every single class that has been offered to me for rehabilitation purposes. I have attended worship services on a regular basis, continue to do so up through this point in time.
Who gives a damn?
I
I'm gonna
spend
be
most
honest.
of my time when I'm not working in the laundry, reading or in prayer or conversing with some of my fellow inmates here at the N5 unit at David Wade. I've had a lot of time to reflect on all the things that brought me here to begin with, not just in terms of the case itself and what transpired leading up to my conviction, but also at 57 years old, a lot of things throughout my life.
Kind of like to hear that. I'm
Both
gonna be
the
honest.
things that
Hearing him say
I
that,
did that
because
were
think about it, he's a judge.
probably
I'm
considered
happy he
good,
said
and some
that.
of the things that would probably be considered mistakes that I've made in my life. And to be fair, I've had my share of mistakes. However, having said all of that, I think inherently my family will attest
Those
to
of
the
you guys
fact
watching,
that I am
look at
indeed
the
a good
panel.
person.
Can you tell that the
I have a
panel's
good
not
heart,
feeling
and
him?
I do
Look
try
at the
to
panel.
help others when the opportunity arises. That is inclusive of my stay here in David Wade. I've attempted to be a positive influence on my fellow inmates, have tried to keep them in a frame of mind that allows them to not only excel during their time here, but also to look forward to the opportunity to themselves help others. And so I think when push comes to shove, if I'm given the opportunity to get out and be free again, I do intend to be a contributing member to society like I was for most of my life. I do intend to do those things that not only allow me to be a family man again for my children, but also to be a contributing member to society. And to that end, it is my hope to be able to form
Listen
a
what he says.
nonprofit group that is dedicated to
This set
helping
them off. He shouldn't have did
innocent
this.
people who have been wrongly convicted in prison, as well as those who have been overly sentenced, and to educate people on some of the pitfalls and traps that they could fall in, perhaps, that might lead them to be questioned about some of their conduct as to whether or not it's appropriate or not appropriate. And so I know it's a tall order, and some may consider it a pipe dream, but fortunately, with my background in law, my background as a district court judge, and my background as an assistant district attorney for 15 years in St. John the Baptist Parish, I believe I have the footwork necessary to be able to establish such a nonprofit group. And so I would hope that today you consider my early release and understand.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. He don't know this parole board. He don't know Sharon Renata. And he don't know Miss Stapleton. I'm gonna tell you guys something. My lady over there, you see her with her head down with her hand on her chin, and you see Miss Renata? Well, it's a wrap for him. This is just a technicality. These women don't play about women. I'm gonna be honest.
The things that
and the problem
transpired that brought me here to begin with,
I'm gonna be honest
will
with
never
you.
occur.
Siobhan, tell me if I'm wrong. I think the problem in America and in society on the women's side, whether it's what's going on politically or it's what's going on uh within, women just aren't women's women anymore. Remember that old saying, that's a real girl's girl, look out for each other. Women just aren't women's women anymore. Like this is crazy that he's up for parole. But Miss Stapleton and Miss Renata, if you come up and you've done some shit like this, oh, you might as well forget about it. They're real women.
I
Women's
fully
women. I don't know.
intend to completely comply with all the obligations that I'll have in terms of being on parole as a parolee to show that your decision will be
Siobhan, I love you, by the
meritorious
way.
if indeed
You're the
you grant
best.
me that opportunity. So thank you very much. And again, I know your decision is not easy, and I do appreciate it.
Did you hear what he said?
Yes,
He
sir.
spent a
Thank
whole
you so
speech.
much. Gordon Dozat, can you add anything for us?
I'll just add that since he has been at David Wade for the last 4 years, he hasn't received any rule violation reports. So his conduct has been excellent since he's been here.
It's supposed
He's
to be.
completed reentry, living in balance, stress
Supposed to
management,
be.
victim awareness, and
He's
the
in prison.
sex offender treatment program. While he's been housed in N5, and then he currently works in the laundry, and he has a good work evaluation from his supervisor.
Thank you very much.
Hey, you think Miss Renata crazy? She is kind of crazy.
Now we'd like to hear from those in support. We'd like to hear from Valerie. Valerie, if you'd step up to.
All right, here we go. I think this is his daughter. And you know what? Again, like the mothers that speak, I hate when the family members have to sit up here and literally beg.
But can you speak up just a little bit? Our
And it was her
microphone is on the
friend
other side of this phone.
that was
We
the
want him to
victim.
be able to hear what you say.
Her friend that went on trips with them.
And will be speaking on behalf of my family. Present here with me today, as stated, my dad's ex-wife, my mom,
4
my sister,
and up for parole.
my aunt.
4.
His cousin. Unfortunately, my sister could not be in attendance today due to medical school. And his previous attorney, Ms. Kim, was impacted by the hurricane, leaving her unable to be here as well. Each of these individuals, including myself and others, are committed to helping my dad reintegrate in society. Whether it's finding him a job, giving him a place to stay, helping him contribute to our community again, he has a strong support system ready to reunite and deal with him.
Devon, you might as well just get your YouTube
Growing
ready. You can
up,
come
my
on.
father has
You come
always
on
been
and
a beacon of
co-host.
strength,
And we're just going to talk
love,
about
and
these people.
laughter for those surrounding him. His absence has caused us heartache as we try to navigate life with the pain of separation. Throughout the last 40 years, he has continued to play a vital role in our lives through various phone calls.
I'm just going to say it this
and
way.
in-person
It's
visits.
very interesting
His
the
presence
way
in our
the
life is
panel,
irreplaceable, and I know
this
that he has
court
so much
system,
love and
the
wisdom to
way
share.
when certain people speak, I'm just
Over
going to
these
say it.
past
Fuck how
4
you feel.
years, my father has
They
missed
feel
many
them.
milestones
They're
with my
feeling her.
sister
Look,
and I.
everybody's just so,
College graduations, a medical school acceptance, white coat ceremony, birthdays, holidays.
I'm serious. I pay attention to their emotions.
More
They
than
don't show
those
this
events,
emotion.
He has missed the everyday moments that shape our bond. The laughter, our silly jokes,
Exactly, Siobhan.
the lessons, being there for my sister. when her
Your daddy a
son's
judge
relationship
taking
ended,
advantage of little girls.
getting a random phone call from his daughters, asking for advice. And the simple joys of being a girl dad, changing my tire when I'm left stranded at school. Making
Oh, yeah,
sure
let's do
I'm
it, Siobhan.
keeping up with oil changes, giving me a hug when I'm having a bad day, taking me to lunch on a random day. Most importantly, he has missed the sudden, unexpected death.
I'm gonna let you guys know what general, and why I think us being here and when people eventually see this, stop being afraid and speak up. You can be as brave as me and Siobhan and everybody else. What's shocking to me about you people, all right? What's shocking to me about you people is that how out of touch of reality you gotta be to come up here. You're gonna hear some of the other family members speak, and I won't be long-winded, but it's just shocking how out of touch of reality so many people are. Like how out of touch of reality you gotta be to get up and say some of this stuff when you know that first of all, it's not gonna help. He was convicted. If you come to a court case not talking about the victims, not talking about what you did, not talking about, I don't care if you say that you're innocent, it's not going to go well. And like I said, his daughter, I hear what you're saying, but she's out of touch to come up here and speak this way. To me, she's out of touch.
His father in 2021. My dad's presence would not only bring comfort, but also allow us to honor my grandfather's memory as a favor. I believe this closure is crucial for all of us, and it would help my dad continue on his path of rehabilitation. His commitment to personal growth and demonstration of strength and resilience is an inspiration to his loved ones. He has completed courses and earned certificates through the past 4 years and also received a Tiger Risk score of 1. My dad has shown that he is ready to contribute positively to our family and the community. My dad, I miss you deeply and long for the day when we can be together again. Your presence means the world to me, and I cherish all the memories we shared.
See what I'm saying? She's out of touch, y'all.
Regardless of what happens
Listen,
today, know that I'm
listen.
here for you, supporting you every step
She
of the way.
turned this into a personal thing about her daddy. They're out of touch. That's what I meant. I have to
To
word
members of
things
the
better.
parole board, I hope you can see the potential for healing and growth that my father represents for our family. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
I agree with you, Siobhan. She is a victim as well.
Right,
Because
we'd
she
like
has to
hear
try to.
from the-
It's
from
an
the
interesting
victim's family.
position. How do you defend that?
could
But
we
you're
hear
right.
from Miss
You're right.
Guidry?
But she's out of touch with the words. She's young. And I could be wrong. Check me when I'm wrong. Here we go. So here's like not her mother, or I was kind of confused what her relationship is.
Guidry, are you there? Yeah, we can't hear you. Are you on mute? Can you unmute your microphone?
Thank you. Someone just unmuted my microphone. Thank you for allowing us to be here today and speak. I first want to say that my heart does go out to Valerie and Dominique. I don't wish to see any child suffer, but I have a child as well, and her name is
Okay.
Anna Guidry, and
Okay.
I'm here to speak for her today. I am not her mother. I am her stepmother.
You
Her
guys are
mother
gonna have
could
to
not
forgive
be
me.
here because she passed away of cancer.
Mm.
Something that Mr. Jeff Parole knew and used to pray and used her vulnerability to pray on her. I came today with an open heart, hoping to hear from Jeff and I'm sorry, or, admitting what he has done wrong, because that's all we really ever wanted. But all I hear is speaking of rehabilitation and starting a nonprofit for people who are wrongly accused. God is the main judge here, right? So he knows. You know what you've done. He knows what you've done. We're all sinners and we all have faults.
What?
I hope the Holy Spirit touches your
What?
heart just so we
You
can
guys
all
forgive
just
me, but
move
I'm a
on
little.
from this and have closure. Just say sorry.
Ain't no tear
Just
fell.
admit what you have done
Let a tear
to
fall,
our
please.
children so that we can all move on, so that
We
your
agree with you,
daughters
ma'am.
can move on.
But
That is the
please let
true
a tear fall.
testimony of strength. That is the truest testimony of strength. To admit that you have done wrong and then go get help. Get help. When you get out, get help.
I'm glad I'm
That's
looking
it.
at you
That's all
because
we
Siobhan, I
ask.
felt like I was out of touch because I'm confused again. Like I think these people.
And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Miss Guidry, for sharing. Appreciate it.
And now she laid in the floor. Ooh.
Now we have the Hotards, and I'll let them decide who's going to speak first.
Hi, I'm here. This is Rachel Hotard. Can you hear me?
Can.
Yeah, he's a wrap.
Good morning.
It's a wrap for
Again,
him.
I would like to thank you all for this opportunity to speak on our daughter Emily Hotar's behalf.
There we go.
She is at work right now, having to take a break to join along on the YouTube. My husband is here on side of me right here at home. First, I'd just like to say,
I get it.
you know, before all this happened,
The
Jeff
other
Parole
lady was with
a
mom.
friend of ours, an acquaintance,
Oh,
somebody
wow.
that we absolutely trusted
Siobhan, I was trying to
our
figure it
daughter
out.
with, to take
I get
care
it.
of, to
That was
protect
mom's
when,
partner.
you know,
This is the other
she
mom.
was with him
Got
in
you.
his presence with his daughter that she was friends with. You know, we trusted him completely. We had no reason to not trust him, you know.
I'm sorry. That's the other girl.
But then
There are
after
two
this
girls.
incident happened and
I'm
the
sorry.
trial came and seeing his actions, hearing the things that happened, we realized how deceitful of a man he really was and how he, you know, preyed upon our trust of him and our daughter and took advantage of that. And I feel like the same things that he's saying in here right now, you know, speaking of he's going to make a nonprofit for people wrongly accused, but yet
No,
he
it's
wants
not.
to say he's done his rehabilitation. It's kind of speaking out of both sides of his mouth, where
She's
it's
right.
either one or the other.
She's
You
right,
know, I
though.
kind of came on with
But
Miss
here's
Idri
my
in the
thing.
hopes of maybe we would have had some kind of
If
apology
in
and
his mind
some
he
kind
wasn't
of admittance
inappropriate,
to it, but you know, it's not what we're obviously getting here. We're just afraid that he, you know, during the trial was very arrogant, very defiant, and that he did nothing wrong.
I can see that about him.
So our fear is that he gets out and begins to prey upon other people and tries to build that trust again and ends up kind of doing the same thing to other young girls. Or is he going to still now be in the vicinity of where our girls are? And, you know, that fear of just, you know, those
I
kinds
gotta
of
be that,
things coming
Siobhan.
up
What you
again.
just said.
I just really feel like I need to
There were two
stress
girls, though.
the
I have the
point
actual
that he thinks he did nothing wrong.
after this, you
And he
guys,
was very
we'll pull up the
convincing
actual
and
report. I have
deceitful and
all of it.
conniving. And I just feel like he can't be trusted. I completely feel for his children and the events that dad had to miss for them and the passing of his dad, all the events, good and bad, but his actions that he did, he chose this for himself and knew if he got caught, there would be consequences. And he brought that on himself.
Yep.
So I on behalf of and myself, we just would like to say that we do oppose him being paroled at this time.
I really want to
And we
commend
appreciate you taking the
both
time
for
to
their
listen to our
emotional
concerns.
intelligence. Like this
And
is
does
strong
Mr. Hotard wish to speak?
display of emotional intelligence because I wouldn't have it.
He's right here.
Yes, ma'am. I'd just
Especially
like to
him. He's
reiterate the point that he never admitted he was wrong, but then he's saying he's rehabilitated. How can you be rehabilitated if you never have come to terms with what you did was wrong? And then to come out and say he's going to do a nonprofit for people
passive
wrongly
aggressive.
convicted and overly sentenced, that's a
That's
passive
what he said.
aggressive way of saying that he's not guilty and didn't do anything wrong. And if he truly believes he did nothing wrong, was to protect the community from this never happening again. And my last point to the board is to please consider the impact on releasing him back into the same community where some of his victims still live. And that's it. Thanks for your time.
So much so. All right, Mr. Parole, would you answer any questions, Mr. Byron?
Here we go. Mr. Barra is the one. I love Mr. Barra. Watch this. He gonna get to
I'm
it.
gonna start out by just summarizing a little bit of the case.
Hey.
This is a case of a sitting judge who used a position of power over juvenile friends of his daughter and committed indecent behavior with the juvenile 3 counts while
Y'all listen up. It's about to get good.
Florida victims at his own residence. He was found guilty at a jury trial of all 3 counts and sentenced to serve a total of 13 and a half years at Harder. The victims, as you just saw, and family members are opposed to the release. When it comes down to questions, I guess the big question, which is the elephant in the room right now, is were you wrongfully accused and are you still claiming to be innocent right now?
I missed the first part of your question,
Keep
sir. I'm
talking,
sorry.
Siobhan.
Would you repeat it?
So the first part of it is, were you
Yeah, I
wrongfully
agree. You're right.
accused, and are you still
See,
maintaining your innocence today, right now?
and you know what?
The answer to that question is
we've got
emphatically yes.
one of our panel members should be in episodes coming soon. She said something real in the chat. And you know what? This is one of the things that I've been working on, and I told myself is that, when you bite your tongue, it hurts, right? And I heard a minister that nobody really likes say the deepest thing there. He's like, if you'll humble yourself to your mother, your father, meaning knowing something's right and you won't say it, your father, the pastor, the pope, anybody like that, you can never be fully free. And I really wanted to say something different. And like Siobhan said in the chat, you guys are going to see, emotional intelligence is one thing, but being kind to evilness is another. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, some of these people that are truly evil, hear me out when I say this, have never faced any kind of evil on their own. I mean, these people that do these things or get down on people in the streets and do these things to civilians and everything, they've never had to face evil themselves, right? So us coming intellectually and talking to them, it don't move them. It doesn't move their spirit. Siobhan, I 100% agree with you that we've got to give some kind of old school testament, the Old Testament to them. You know what I mean? Something. You're right. I'm going to check myself. You're absolutely right. Bite our tongue for what when somebody done
I
something like
was
this and it's a
wrongfully
judge?
accused, and I am maintaining my innocence as of today, and I still continue to fight for my innocence in the court system, and I will continue to do so. Even if I'm granted parole, I will continue to pursue the avenues that are available for me to prove my innocence and to be fully exonerated. And let me clarify that real quick by saying this. I completely understand the position that the parents of the girls involved in this case are in. I completely understand that. They have been fed information from the Attorney General's office that have convinced them that I am a predator, that I am not. I am not a child predator. I never
What y'all
have
think?
been, and I never will be. And I have to say that whether that sways your vote or not today, I am not going to say that I did something that I did not do for the sake of expediently leaving prison. If I did something wrong, I would apologize for it. And to that end, if any conduct that I engaged in, any conduct or anything that I said ever crossed a level of comfort for the parents or for the kids, I am indeed sorry for that. But I did not commit sexual crimes against any of these girls, period.
Where do you plan on living, and what do you plan on doing if we were to release you?
Oh, wow,
Well, my
you're right.
plan right now is to move in with my sister, whose husband, by the way, is a police officer, has been for over 30 years. I would be living in their residence. He would
That's
keep
the
an
one of
eye
the
on me
day.
just for the sake of protecting the community. If indeed there is a
Mm,
concern within the community that I might do something like this again, according
mm.
to the statements of the parents.
According to the statements of the
And
parent,
my
man, I got
intention at
chills,
this
y'all.
point in
I'm
time for
tripping.
employment is to go into the seafood business, which my father was in for over 40 years. I intend to go into something completely different in terms of what I've done for my entire professional career, but a career that I'm also familiar with due to my dad's involvement in the seafood business for over 30 years. And that would be on the wholesale side of things.
That's all my question.
I've got something. Mr. Parole, let me ask you something. The
Yes, ma'am.
text that you sent
Listen to this.
the
This is real.
girls,
This is real.
Yes, ma'am.
That at first they said that you were, well, they felt like you were like a second father to them. They trust.
Correct.
So, that was the level of influence that you had over them, which is often seen in these types of cases. It's going to be a father, stepfather, close
Yep.
family member,
Taking them on
something like that.
trips. Yep.
So let me ask you, they spoke about the text being weird as to what you would say to them, and you would give heart shapes at the end and different things like that. And then some of the questions that you would ask them, did you send those types of questions with those types of emojis to your own daughters at that same time frame? If we were to compare the text to your own daughters, because they said their own daddies would not have sent them those types of texts. and they wouldn't have ended the text the way you did with hearts and stuff like that. Did you do that with your own daughter?
100%, Siobhan,
Not only with
100%.
my own daughters, but with my nieces as well. My sister has two children who are older than mine, who were like my first daughters. Okay. The emoji stuff that you're talking about, ma'am, with all due respect, and the little heart symbols, that was a new feature that was on the iPhones around the time that these communications occurred. I was tinkering with those little text message features.
With
I
little
guess that's what you
girls?
call them. I'm not
Why you
overly
texting?
tech
Dude, y'all
oriented.
crazy. Y'all wow.
However, those heart messages were just that.
I
They
don't care
were
how
simple
close I get
ways
with
of
a
saying I love
a,
you
a friend of my
in a
child. We're not
fraternal
texting,
type
bro.
way, because I did view these girls as family members,
We're
just
not
like I
texting.
did
I
with
don't
my
care
own
how much your friend. We're
daughters,
not texting.
obviously, as well as my sister's two daughters. I was affectionate and I was kind, and
Let
if
me ask
that
y'all,
offends
should you
anyone,
ever
then
be
of course I'm
texting? Like,
sorry
am I
for that. That
wrong?
was never my
That's
intention.
weird.
My intention was to show them how important they were to me in a paternal sense, not in some perverted, predatory sense.
Well, that's why they had problems with it, because it wasn't paternal, the way those messages came across, because they said their own fathers didn't end their messages the way you did, and then phrase his messages, Papa J loves you,
Papa J loves you.
and then end it with these emojis and stuff, thinking of you and smiling, you make me happy, pie with a drawn heart. You are my sunshine. So it wasn't sexual in nature, but for the girls, it was odd. But you were so important in their life, they gave you leeway with that type of stuff. And then when I asked you just how did you do that with your own daughters, you said no, but you did it with your nieces. Why did you make things?
I didn't say no. I said yes. Not only did I do it with my own daughters, I also did it with my nieces. Those
Okay, so let me ask you about
friends as
touching.
well.
Let's get into the touching, because you're saying you didn't do anything. So let's get into the touching. You know, like these were young,
He's
these were
getting
young
red.
teenagers.
He's getting red.
And here's some of the stuff that was unusual. If suntan lotion, you insisted on putting it
Exactly,
on these
Siobhan.
young girls.
I was telling my wife, like,
One girl
I'm
needed some
41.
vapor rub.
I think it's
She
crazy
said
for me or
and
anybody under
she
41.
said
I don't
that
care,
she just needed
celebrity or
some
whatever,
vapor rub, and
to
you
find a
and
20-year-old
you
woman
did
attractive.
rub it on her chest.
What
Those
could me and
things
her
are not
conversate
normal
about?
or
Honestly, Siobhan,
romantic
what would I
with
conversate with
anybody
her
other than an infant.
about?
So why did you think those things were not crossing the line? Because they did. So why did you not think that?
Well, first of all, let me just, I will answer that question, but let me finish my point on the text messages. Every message I ever sent the girls was not done in a surreptitious fashion. Their parents could have seen any of these messages at any time, and if they had an issue with the manner in which I communicated with the girls, they certainly could have told me something. I did not have any communications with Miss Hotard's daughter. Emily Hotard received no text messages ever from me, not one text message. I didn't even have her number. The only two girls who I texted were one who has not accused me of any crime, who is not involved in this case as a victim, and the other was Miss Guidry's daughter, who I had texted for probably 4 years before anything happened. As far as the touching was concerned, the only times that I
Yeah,
ever
come on,
touched
Siobhan.
these
You're right.
girls were at their
1000%.
request,
Chat,
and
y'all
it
need to
wasn't on a
check her out
frequent basis.
in the chat. She's
Anna
going
Guidry
crazy.
had a
She's right.
problem with her neck after she would swim, her shoulders. She would ask me at swim meets and or at home when she was with my daughter if I would simply massage her neck a little bit. These were not full body 10-minute, 20-minute massages. These were little 30-second, let me try to loosen your neck up a little bit type touching. That was the extent of it. As far as the vapor rub incident, which is the misdemeanor that isn't involved in what you all are dealing with today, yes, that was something that I did for Shayna, who had been in my life since she was 1 year old. And I put vapor rub right here. It took me all of 3 seconds to rub vapor rub right here. If you can see me, that's where I put the vapor rub right here. It wasn't an ongoing type thing or a frequent thing that I touched these girls in any way, nor did I have any desire to. There were limited occasions where I did indeed engage in physical contact. And to the extent that that physical contact was deemed to be inappropriate or cross some line of
You
comfort,
rub it,
I am
yeah.
sorry for that. But that was my intention was never to touch them inappropriately, ever, not once.
Dude, he massaged vapor rub on their chest. Oh my
Okay,
God.
but do you think these girls all said
Oh
consecutively.
my God.
Their daddy wouldn't do that. So I guess, I mean, we're just gonna
Y'all hear me?
let's on this, so we're not gonna go any further with this, because you don't see that there was a problem with it. I do understand, but I do understand why they loved you and they let you do things that they felt like this shouldn't be happening. And then when the one girl came out of the room crying that it went too far for her, then the others admitted you had done things that went too far for them. So, you know, you had the one girl that your daughter was her best friend since what, they were in the second grade? You got a lot of broken hearts. Yes, on both sides.
I am aware of that, and I feel horrible about that. I do. These people, as Ms. Hotard said, were friends of mine, generational friends. We're talking about friends of their parents and my parents and their grandparents and my grandparents. We're talking about generational friendships that have been fractured as a result of this. And honestly, I think communication early on could have avoided some of this, and maybe, yes, maybe better decision making on my part. But at the time, I did not think about the negative side of physical contact because I didn't intend to touch them inappropriately. So I just want to make sure you all understand. Yes, I totally understand the feedback that the parents are offering here, but I have to make it clear that
The
my
feedback
intention
they're
was
offering.
never nefarious with these girls. I truly considered them to be like family to me.
Mm.
And everything I ever did for them or did with them was from a familial type standpoint. In hindsight, yes, ma'am, it may very well not have been the best decisions, but at the time they were made, I had no idea that any of the girls were uncomfortable with me on the manner in which I treated them. And that is the best
Well,
way I can
time
put
out,
it.
Oh
one
boy.
second.
Oh
Just
boy.
1 second here.
Oh boy.
Okay, time out.
Oh boy.
We're gonna move on, and I understand where the girls were coming from. So that's the end of my questions.
Anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Parole?
I did not hear you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Anything else you'd like to say?
No, other than, again, I appreciate your consideration. I know not only as a longtime attorney, but as a judge, decisions are not easy when they involve these types of situations. But I want to make it perfectly clear before you vote that I never, ever intended to do anything to harm any of these girls or in any way touch them in an inappropriate fashion. The outcome that we see now is not at all what I intended.
I don't know, man.
And I
I
sincerely
don't know.
apologize for that. And again, I thank you for your time.
I'm not.
I think the panel's prepared to vote, Mr. Barra.
Here we go.
Mr. Parole, you are right. You do bring us to a very tough decision. But obviously the jury didn't believe your side of the story. And so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to vote to deny parole today based on the serious nature of the crime and that you only serve 4 years off of the 14-year sentence, which is a fraction in the strong victim opposition. I'll suggest that you keep on doing exactly what you're doing and reapply at your next option after you serve just a little more time, because 4 years off of 13 is really not justice for the jury verdict.
Mrs. Stapleton.
I concur with Mr. Barra.
Mr. Parole, I also agree that it's insufficient time served based on the jury verdict. I do wish you well. My vote is to deny for those reasons. I do wish you well in your quest to appeal. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
What? So parole denied. Who's responsible? I always wonder, who's responsible for deciding how long it takes? Is it more about president? Like, how do they figure out how often they're able to come up for parole, so on and so forth? Because you know what, I feel like 4 years, just myself, didn't even give the family or the victims enough time to get over. I think anxiety would be an understatement, but 4 years didn't even give them time to get over the court case. You know, I don't think we all realize, what all goes into and what the little girls had to be subjected to, and the family members as far as the questioning goes and things like that. So at the end of the day, I feel like too often people in position of power abuse their position of power, right? And Mr. Parole ran into a parole board that, even though they're in the South and I consider um, the system definitely needs to be fixed and whatnot. But he ran into a person that just wasn't gonna play that today, and they denied his parole. So he was denied. He will have to wait and reapply. We're going to go ahead and jump into another parole hearing. We have Marlon Hanchett, and we have another one later on that's coming up. That's pretty emotional as well. But I want to kind of change the pace up a little bit. We got a revocation hearing for Marlon Hatchett, so I'm going to get out of the way and we'll get started. Parole one more time. Let me know what you guys think. And I don't know why that display keeps kind of Oh, look at me messing up, Shar. All right, forgive me. Here we go. Get some volume. How are they supposed to hear without no volume? Marlon Hatchett, what's his corrections number? 434-216. On that last case, Mr. Perillo, I actually pulled that case up. A lot of these cases, they're public record. So I downloaded the file on the case itself, and they spoke a little bit more about the two victims and as well as the district attorney that he was speaking to. And if I get bored, I might look the documents over and see if there's anything interesting worth looking because I'm kind of nosy. But let's get started here. Revocation. I like revocation hearings because they're quick and they're pretty cut and dry. Because it's very easy to violate. So revocation obviously means that they're facing being revoked and sent back to prison to finish the remainder of their sentence most times. And you know what? I want to fast forward, but like I have the worst fast forward finger ever. There we go. No need.
All right, we are now at Calcasieu Correctional Center, and I believe we have Mr. Hanchett. Mr. Hanchett, would you introduce yourself for the record, sir? Tell us your name and DOC number.
Mr. Nelson sounds so nice. And then she gets bipolar on you.
Number 434216.
Good deal. And sir, do you have any paperwork there with you this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom of the page, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on that information, sir, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. You'll see him on your screen. Would you answer his questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Hanchett, hope you're doing okay today.
Yes, sir.
We're here for a revocation hearing, and as you are aware, revocation hearing means that you're accused of having been out on parole for whatever the charges may be, and that you didn't abide by the conditions that you agreed to when you got out. And so you're charged with or suspected of violating two of the conditions. Number 4, which means that you violated some sort of law, or you are around illegal drugs, or misusing alcohol or that sort of thing. You were charged with something. That's number 4. Number 10 means that you didn't keep up with
Good
your
old
money.
Steve
You
Prater.
didn't pay your probation fees that you're supposed to, and parole fees. And we'll talk about number 10 on the money part in just a minute, but let's talk about number 4 first. So you understand we're going to be talking about your charges, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's alleged that that you were possessing with intent to distribute a large amount of fentanyl pills. And you were charged for that, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay, and
sir.
we're talking
Hey,
about over
hey, that's
20,000 pills, or I believe it was 17.5 pounds of fentanyl tablets.
oh boy. I was wondering because that voice is not normal. I'm gonna let y'all know right now that voice is not. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. Revoked. What are we doing here? Revoked. Revoked.
Which is a lot. You agree with that? Sure. Okay. And you're charged with having possessed that and actually sold that to undercover agents.
I think it's a joke, this new law.
And then when you were arrested on that warrant a
Triple
year
T
later,
got something for
or
y'all. That's
close to a
Trump,
year
Trump, Trump.
later, when you were stopped, you had driving a stolen car and had some hydrocodone tablets, 29 hydrocodone tablets in the car with you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It was in
Okay.
my pill. It was a pill bottle in my name. It was medicated to me.
Okay, so you had a prescription for those?
Yes, sir. It was a prescription that I had in my name, in the bottle with my name on it. And they still,
Okay. Did you have a prescription for the 17.5 pounds of fentanyl tablets?
sir, those charges have been dismissed.
Okay, whether they were dismissed or not, did you admit that you took the bag of fentanyl tablets, 17.5 pounds, and placed them from one car into the other car?
No, sir, I did not admit to that.
You didn't tell the parole officer that?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay, let's see here. So you weren't seen on video doing that, and they didn't have audio and video of you doing that, correct?
They had me audio and video putting a bag in a car, but wasn't with no fentanyl pills, sir.
What was in the bag?
It was considered clothing, from my understanding. I didn't look in the bag. I just was removing the bag with supposed to be clothes. I have a clothing company, and I was told that I was delivering, moving a bag of clothing to another bag. That was what I was told. I never looked in the bag. I never seen no pills. I never even reported to have no pills. Never even had it in my possession.
Just a runner.
Well, if you
Just
picked
a
it
run.
up, you had it in your possession.
I'm just a
But
runner.
I didn't knowingly know what was in the bag when I put the bag in the car.
He trying to tell you I'm just a
This
runner.
wasn't something I was told that they have fentanyl pills in the bag, sir.
Well,
That's why these charges was dismissed.
Are you? That's not why they were dismissed, was it?
But it was dismissed due to the fact that they had uncredible detectives that wasn't credible for the purpose of me being charged. They wasn't held credible. So that's what it was dismissed. In other words, it was some, how my lawyer told me it was,
Brady case,
sir,
correct? It was a Brady case.
a Brady case.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the confidential informant was dead at time of trial, correct?
All right, so
Yes,
Steve
sir.
Prater being a former sheriff, I don't know. I
What
just feel
about
weird
the
about him being
audio
in
and
there.
video where they're discussing this deal?
They never,
Did that not?
Ugh,
sir,
my head.
Okay, go ahead.
the audio and video never was discussed about any drugs. The audio and video never was discussed about any drugs in the audio or video. There never was any discussion about drugs.
Okay. And so let's move on. There is one case that's still pending, is that correct?
They OR the bonds on those cases, sir.
So everything's dismissed against you, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they OR the bonds. I just had to come for this revocation. And if y'all granted me to go home, I can go home.
Okay, so you're actually on, they gave you an OR, the judge ordered that you be released on your own recognizance, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the case is still pending.
The truck and the pill bottle and the money laundry. And the money laundering they had gave back to me. It was the money laundry was gave back. The money was gave back to me from the money laundry case.
Right, I read that in the police reports that you got the 6,000 something back.
Yes, sir.
So you got that back. But the
Prater don't like that.
And the stolen vehicle are
Prater don't like that.
Are still pending, correct? Let me ask
And
you something.
I'm not saying anything
Was
against,
the
but
vehicle stolen?
he don't like that.
They said it was stolen, but 5 days before they arrested me, they came to my house and we showed them the paperwork. They didn't say it was stolen that day. 5 days later, when they picked me up on a warrant, they said it was stolen. So I don't understand. The people that sold me the truck had paperwork. We had paperwork and we had insurance. So if it was stolen, I don't understand how did we end up with paperwork and insurance. That's what I'm fighting.
Okay.
I didn't go and steal the truck. This was sold to me with paperwork. So that's why we're fighting this case. Because my lawyer, everybody seen with the DA, they seen that the paperwork was there. So I'm not understanding how is this truck being stolen? I had paperwork.
Steve?
That's why
I think that's, how
fighting.
much, and do you owe for your parole fees?
Yes, sir. When I first came home, I didn't have no job. But when I started working, I paid every month from when I was working. I paid every month. I did community service. I passed all drug screens. I did everything so I didn't have no sanctions. I had no sanctions when I was home. The only thing I got was when they put these charges on. Everything else, I was doing right. I was doing everything I was supposed to do until these indictment came, which I call entrapment, because I did a lot of stuff for the community. I did back to school drives. I was doing a lot. I don't know if my paperwork was sent to y'all, but everything was supposed to be sent to y'all, dealing with everything I was doing. I even helped the judge. Yes, sir.
We got the paperwork and we've got the case.
I don't know, you
file
guys.
and
I'm gonna
all
be
the
honest.
paperwork
I
and
feel kind of
everything
weird
else
about this. I feel kind of weird
everything
about
that you
this.
did.
And he might be guilty. I just feel odd. I'm not saying he's
Madam Chairman,
innocent or
that's
guilty.
all the.
I just feel
I'd like
odd
to hear
about this
y'all's
case.
questions, and we may need to go into executive session.
I was gonna say you might have to because he's
Okay,
articulating
my
too
question
good
is,
for you
why
guys
did
to
you meet
just.
him?
There you go. Okay,
Sir,
that's a better question.
Why did you meet him to put the supposedly clothes in the trunk?
Because it was supposed to be for my clothing line, sir. I was told by the dead guy that these people.
What's they paid for your clothes?
Sir?
What they paid you for those clothes?
I never got paid. The dead guy was supposed to receive the money for my clothes. He was supposed to pay me. What I was told you to put the bag in the car.
He's a runner. Hold up.
It was your clothes. You
He
said
knows
your
what
clothing
you're
line,
He
but
running.
you didn't know there was drugs in there. You thought
He's
there was
running.
clothes. There's a big difference between drugs and clothes.
Yes, sir. But he was supposed to get these clothes and put them in a
Tell me, am I wrong?
himself, from my understanding. But
See?
I was told this was clothes.
Okay. That's really hard to believe. I'll tell you.
I never looked in the bag, sir.
Okay.
But
I have no further questions.
come on, man.
Where's your lawyer today?
They was here, but they had to go because they said it was taking too long because they said it was gonna start at 8:30, at 9, but they had to be somewhere. They was here though. That's how I got these papers right here.
Wow, your lawyer
What
left
is
you,
that?
bro?
That's the paper showing that my charges was dismissed,
But you still have some pending.
and they showing that they are awarded by the judge, and the judge was.
Yeah, but that doesn't, not pending.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have any other questions. We'd like to get that paperwork sent to us. We'll ask the officer to do so. I don't have any questions, Mr. Prater. Are you ready to vote?
Miss Cheryl,
I'm sorry.
my lawyer gave it to the parole place. They have a copy of this.
Okay, we'll get it from them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Who is your lawyer?
Derek Key from Cox and Cox.
Key or King?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna be honest, Chad.
Key, K-E-E.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Prater, ready to vote?
You're going to executive session.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be honest.
A second for executive session. I do not object. So stand by, Mr. Hanchett. We're gonna be in
Yes,
executive session.
Yes,
So,
ma'am. Thank y'all.
so executive session, of course, they're gonna go back and talk about things, and I won't be too long-winded. I don't want you to leave me. But here's what's kind of bothering me and making me think. Most of the charges were dismissed. His lawyer didn't show up. And even if he has existing charges, they really should have offered to him, and it really depends on what time of day it is, to me at least. They should have offered him to be able to come back after the charges were settled. His lawyer's not there. Do you see what I'm saying? They should have offered him to come back after he settled that last case because, first of all, like you said, his lawyer stayed for an hour and then left because it took too long, left him with the paperwork. And we both know he's not too articulate. Now, whether he did it or not is a different question. It sounds stupid as hell. They just put a bag into my car. I thought it was my clothes. I didn't look in the bag. Like, that's not how you say that. Like, that's really when they start to get suspicious. I didn't know it was in the bag. I thought it was the clothes. But going back to my first point, he hadn't been convicted of anything. He's paid all his money, right? He's paid all his money. Steve Prater is a former sheriff. So this is my question because I don't care what your job title is. I think everybody's human, right? And me, knowing myself and the type of human that I can be, I ask this question. Steve Prater, if you were a former sheriff, and please, chat, tell me if this is just a basic question. And he got over, in your eyes, one of the cops that were attached to when he got busted with these drugs got in trouble themselves. Like they got, I don't know what they called it. Him and Steve Prater and the guy called it something, a Brady something, to where the cop got in trouble. Steve Prater was on a defense the whole time, man. Like his questions were good questions, but it seemed like he already not only had his mind made up, but he might have been upset that this guy got over on them because he knew too much. He was asking way too many questions that were more to catch him up other than try to figure out what was going on in the case. Let's go ahead and fast forward this because I'm interested to know how this one ends. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a feeling with Steve Prater being on the board, it might not go too well, but we'll see. He called the executive session, so here we go.
All right, it is 10:22 and I make the motion to return to regular session. Is there any objection? All right, Mr. Hanchett, we are back in regular session and I think we are ready to vote. Mr. Prater will be voting first. Mr. Prater.
Mr. Hanson, our job is not to determine guilt or innocence the same way that a judge has to. Our job is to see if there's a preponderance of evidence, credible evidence that leads us to believe that you're involved in criminal conduct. I know you have one case that's still pending. The fact that you actually
the way he worded that
a large amount of drugs and placed them into another vehicle, I think that gives me a preponderance of the evidence, and there's no question that you did that. That along with, I don't see any evidence that the pills were yours that you're currently going to court on. I didn't see a script of that. It wasn't provided. The vehicle is very questionable as far as paperwork, but we do know it's stolen. And so I feel like because of those reasons that I think it's in the best interest of the public that you be revoked on your parole.
Mr. Freeman.
Find the subject violation of condition number 4, and I vote to revoke, and number 10.
And I do agree, Mr. Hanchett. So my vote also is to revoke today. So today, Mr. Hanchett, your parole's being revoked, sir. Good luck to you in court.
Thank you.
And notice he's still talking about thank y'all. Thank y'all. Damn, boy. So again, parole, actually revocation, I'm sorry. He was revoked. So his parole was taken away. I mean, I don't have nothing, honestly, I don't have anything super crazy to say, or I don't feel any kind of way emotionally one way or another. But I feel like Steve Prater's what he did before sometimes gets in the way, or I think he takes it personally. That's what I think. I think Steve Prater sometimes takes his former job as a sheriff uh personally when he's looking over these cases. All right, you guys, we got 2 more that I'm going to do before we get back to the title cases. Parole one more time. Thank you, whoever's here stopping in. I appreciate you spending a little time with me. We've got Farrell Lewis up next for revocation. His correction number is 759702. All right, you guys, parole one more time. I'm going to go ahead and get my mind right real quick right here with you guys. Roll up a little bit, but let me know what you guys think. Parole or more time? What would you do? Here we go. And you know what we're also going to do? Stop making this damn display thing pop up. Let's get right to it. We got no time to play today. All right, parole one more time. Let me know what you guys think. What would you do?
All right, Mr. Lewis, good morning. Would you tell us for the record, sir, your name and DOC number?
Urban Lewis, 702 759-702.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. And you are at Calcasieu Correctional Center, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and based on the information in that piece of paper, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed with this revocation proceeding without a lawyer present?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Prater. You'll see him on your screen. Would you answer his questions?
All right, Steve's up again. Steve, don't play.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
Okay. All right.
Look at
Well,
Steve.
when you get out of jail on parole,
Here you go.
agree to abide by certain conditions. And if you don't agree to those, then you are up for a parole revocation hearing, which is why we're here today. You are suspected of having violated a couple of different conditions. Number one is that number 3 is what they call it, condition number 3, is that you changed addresses and without telling your parole officer, and they couldn't find you and didn't know where you were, and finally end up, the only reason they found you is because you were arrested on another reason.
Hey, whoever this is watching, don't you leave.
Did you do that? Did you
Don't you
change
leave.
your
I'm looking
address
at you.
twice and not tell your parole officer?
No, I didn't change my address.
What happened?
Well, my sister had lost her house, and then the time I seen then I seen the smell like right after that, and gave her my new address when we was at McDonald's. The time we met at McDonald's.
So you did everything you're supposed to do, and your parole officer just didn't keep up with their business. Is that what you're saying?
Steve
We
is
were at
hilarious.
McDonald's, and I told her what happened and gave her the new address.
Okay, so you're pleading not guilty to that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to number 4. Something that happened you were arrested in October of 2025, not too many months ago. You were arrested and charged with armed robbery, a couple of
Y'all like
armed
my
robberies,
hair?
attempted armed robbery. Gun was with a gun enhancement, and you ended up pleading guilty in December a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, whatever, of theft less than $1,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, I played guilty to the death charge.
That's what he said.
That's correct. You did plead guilty to the theft, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did the theft involve the armed robbery, internal armed robbery of a manager
Don't judge
of
me.
a, what was it, a church's chicken? Is that correct?
They
A church's
It
chicken.
was?
These
No.
they really be trying to hit
Church's
super
chicken.
lick, don't they? Church's chicken, bro.
Yes.
What we doing?
Did you,
But you
were
know
you
what, though?
involved with robbing a
It's gonna come out
church's
No,
chicken?
sir.
that he
No,
was
sir.
homeless. He was homeless though.
Were you
Right.
involved with, what did you plead guilty to?
To the death charge I came in jail for.
Speak up and speak up and clearly.
To the death charge I came in jail on.
The theft charge he went to jail
What happened
on.
to the charge?
So, well, they dropped the armed hours, let they do it, and then I pled out to a death charge.
So he pled out. That's the end of the case, guys. I mean, pretty much, technically.
Why did you plead if you wasn't guilty?
I didn't think that was the same charge. I thought it was 2 different charges.
You know what? I'm not trying to seem like the lame person that says this kind of shit.
So,
But his attitude isn't gonna go
were
real
you
far.
guilty of anything?
To death less than $1,000.
What did you steal?
Something from Walmart.
Look at him. He's embarrassed. This is
Walmart?
sad. Listen, he means
Yeah.
it too. This is a little sad to me, man.
What happened to the
I'm
church's
bipolar.
chicken deal?
That wasn't me. They arrested me because I fit a description.
He said he was homeless. It's about to come out. He's gonna say,
Okay.
listen.
So they got the wrong person on that, and your parole officer lying on you on not being able to find you.
I
that
gave
correct?
my parole officer the new address.
Okay, and all right, well, let's just deal with Walmart. What did you steal?
It was some clothes and stuff.
Okay.
Before I got the new house, I was homeless for like a month.
See? Look at his face. That's why I watch it. Look at his face. Dang, boy. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
I'd have to get him for the robbery, but you know
I
what?
do. Who is Candace Stevens?
But I'd understand. Walmart taking some little things.
Why would this little chick you were messing with say that you did it and led them to where your clothes were and the money bag?
Huh?
She told them
No,
where
he
the
did. Look
clothes
at his
were
face.
and a money bag that y'all had taken.
I'm about to hide, y'all. I can't even look because they're about to do him in. I gotta hide.
Agent Lewis received a call from Carrier prior to the robbery and later discarded the money bag and clothing in a trash can outside the residence. A search warrant was executed where officers recovered the clothing, blue money bag, and bicycles matching those in surveillance footage. Y'all planned this robbery together. You robbed a buddy and y'all split the money. I have no further questions.
Look at his
All right,
face.
and I don't have any other questions. So I think, Mr. Lewis, we're ready to vote. Mr. Prater?
Mr. Lewis, you find that you are guilty of condition 3 and condition 4 of violating your parole, and that your parole will be revoked, and you have a genuinely sorry attitude. And we don't usually get that before the parole board, but you really have an attitude that you need to reflect on, and especially in a serious situation like this hearing is. And so that's my vote, is to revoke 3 and 4.
Mr. Freeman?
I concur.
My vote also is to revoke based on, I find you guilty of violating condition number 4. You pled guilty to criminal activity. So today, sir, Mr. Lewis, your parole is being revoked.
Y'all spend me for the Hope Center for a couple months?
Nope. Hey, if you ever pop back in and watch these, the coldest part of the hearing is at the end when they think they could get an extra word and they just cut the camera. He asked, can he get sent to the Hope Center? No, they hope he they hope he finds his way safely back to prison. So parole was revoked. I don't know. That hearing was pretty straightforward. I feel kind of bad for him hearing him say, he was homeless. He had to go take some things. And it makes me realize that for a lot of people, really and truly, man, you're one family member, one job, one accident, whatever, one mental breakdown away from anyone could be what they call homeless, you know? Or some people see it as free. So, yeah, stealing from Walmart, though, I'm gonna be honest. If I own a store, I say this, right? If I owned a business as big as that, um, not that I would care to get into their personal business, what they got going on, but knowing that Walmart has insurance on all this shit, eh. I'm gonna fast forward. Stick with me for a second. Let me go ahead and hit this one time, and we'll go ahead and get to the next parole hearing. If I have anything wrong, if you think I got it wrong, I talk too much, or I don't talk enough, let me know. Keyshawn McDowell is up next for revocation. Looks like there will be 2 more on this docket, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the ones that we had for the title for tonight. I don't even need to fast forward. It looks like it's about to come up. Keyshawn McDowell, correction number 801885. And for those of you that would like to know, this is Louisiana, by the way. Louisiana Board of Pardons and Parole. So this hearing is coming up. The board is not having it today, by the way. It's 6:41 where I am. I think I'm going to go for about another hour or two.
All right, good morning. This is Mr. McDowell. Y'all are on mute still.
All right, we got 2 of them. We have Tony and Keyshawn. Which one are you wanting?
Well, who's that before us?
Okay.
Is this Keyshawn?
No, this is Tony.
No,
Okay.
go with Tony first. All right, Tony, for the record, sir, state your name and DOC number.
Ma'am,
What's your name and your DOC number?
Tony McDowell. I forgot my DOC number.
Right, let's see.
Oh, it's 801887.
That's it. And you're here for a revocation decision this morning. Are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
All right, here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Speak up. Speak up,
Yes,
boy.
ma'am.
Yeah, I said the
All
same thing.
right.
Say what your chest.
So you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. Condition number 1 says you were released from jail October 8th, 2025. You were instructed to report to the probation and parole to complete your intake within 48 hours of release, and you did not do so. You reported October 29th.
I don't know about that squirt.
25. So how do you plead to violating condition number 1?
Ma'am,
How do you plead to violating that condition? You didn't report within 48 hours when you were released. Guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
Then there's condition number 3, which says you reported an address on Pecan Street in Delhi to your parole officer. They tried to make multiple attempts to contact you at that address. No contact was made. It was learned you'd moved to Edgar Street without permission of your parole officer. So how do you plead to
I
violate?
think a lot of
condition number
times
3?
that a lot of them
Guilty.
in a hurry to get out because you have to have housing. don't want
Number
to take the time to
4
make sure they have the
says,
right
on December
houses set up.
15, 2025, you were arrested by Richland Parish
And
Sheriff's
so
Office for
this jumping
possession of
around
a
has to do with
stolen
they really didn't have
firearm
a place to
by
go.
a
They just
convicted
lied
felon.
to get out on time.
On November 21st, 2025, you received a verbal reprimand for associating with persons known to be involved in criminal activity.
So
For
they asked about a
agents, they
firearm.
located drug paraphernalia inside the common areas of your listed address on Edgar Street. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4, which has to do with being involved in criminal activity?
Not guilty.
Don't.
Not guilty.
You said not guilty? And then there's condition number 5. On December 15, you were found in possession of a stolen firearm by agents with probation and parole at your address on Edgar Street. How do you plead to violating condition
Who
number
told
5?
on you, bro?
Not guilty.
Who told on you? What camera they pick you up on?
Condition number 6, you failed to gain employment since being placed on supervision and being placed on parole in October 2025. So how do you plead to violating that condition?
October 2025.
You.
Did you have that space and talk to her?
Yes, thank you. So you've pled guilty to condition number 1, 3, and 6, and not guilty to number 5. Tell us about condition number 4, about the firearm. Tell us where'd that come from?
It
You
came
found
from-
in the house you stayed in the room you stayed in.
I stayed in my room, and the gun was outside in the trash can. Outside.
Right, I understand that. But it was moved from the room you stayed in to outside.
Oh man.
They probably have cameras.
It was no man.
Okay. According to the report I have, it was moved by a young juvenile from the room y'all stayed in. While the
Wow.
officers
You
were
hear
doing
that?
something else, and it
That's
was moved to
sad.
the front porch. So you're saying
Sad.
not guilty.
Sad.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you want to add?
Put the little boy up like that.
All right, let me ask my colleagues if they have any questions. Mr.
Had the
Freeman?
little boy carry
Did
the
you know
firearm.
about the gun at all?
No, sir.
You have no idea how that gun got in that trash can that came out of your room?
No, sir.
All
I have
right.
no other questions.
Mr. Prater, any questions?
You know about the drug paraphernalia that was in the room?
No, sir.
Didn't know that either. Okay. I
It's
don't have any other questions.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Mr. McDowell?
No, man.
All right, I think I am ready to vote. You pled guilty to violating the conditions of your parole, as I mentioned earlier. I do find you guilty based on the evidence that we have in the record from probation and parole, guilty also of violating condition number 4 and 5. So my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. Mr. Freeman?
Mine's the same. We can't find out who owns that gun, and it was definitely in your proximity and come out of your bedroom. So my vote is the same.
I like the way he said that. We ain't got
Mr.
nobody.
Prater.
I concur, my vote's the same.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Keyshawn.
Nice
Today,
talking.
parole is revoked.
Tony, my dad.
Bro. It's a wrap, Mr. Keyshawn. All right,
They
parole.
might have got you and Tony mixed up. I mean, you and Keyshawn.
Oh shit. Did you hear what they said? I hope
Yeah,
not.
I realized the guy we saw just now was Tony. This is
Oh, okay.
Keisha.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I'm about to say, ooh, she heard. So you know what's funny? When they
You
cut the
had your
people
DLC
off
number.
and they act like they can't hear him no more, that lets me know they can't hear him. She's like, no, we knew it was Keyshawn. Because when they switch
All
him
right,
normally,
Keyshawn, tell
they
us,
stay
would you for
quiet.
the record tell us your name and DOC number?
That's funny. So they can hear the people begging.
801-885.
All right, sir. And you here for a revocation decision. You have that paperwork there in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, he
So
excited about
based on
this
that
here.
information,
I
you're
like
not
this.
eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So you ready to proceed without a lawyer today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna read the allegations against you, and I'd like you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
play some
Okay,
Call of
so
Duty.
first is your parole condition number one.
And once again, thank you guys for
violated because
stopping in with me,
or you're
chilling.
alleged to have
Appreciate you.
violated. It says you were released from jail October 8th, 2025. You were instructed to report to the probation and parole office to complete your intake within 48 hours. You failed to report until October 29th, 2025. So how do you plead to violating condition number one?
Guilty.
Then that next is condition number three. And the violation states that on October 29th, 2025, you reported an address, a residence on Pecan Street in Delhi. And then on November 13th, parole agents attempted to make contact with you at that address. No contact was made. It was learned you had moved to Edgar Street without permission of your parole officer. So how do you plead to violating that condition?
Guilty.
Then we have condition number four. On December 15th, 2025, you were arrested by the Richland Parish Sheriff's Office for possession of a stolen firearm by a convicted felon. How do you plead to that condition violation? We also have condition number five, which is the same. You were found in possession of a stolen firearm by parole officers at your address on Edgar Street in Delhi.
Not give.
Okay. Last is your number six, condition number six. The violation reads you failed to gain employment as instructed by your parole officer. How do you plead to that?
Not give.
Not guilty. Okay, tell us about the firearm.
See, I ain't know the firearm was in there. I was
Here we
asleep.
go again, firearm.
They happened. I was asleep when they
But
came.
am I wrong, you guys, that
I
they
don't
can't
know
be
what's
around
going on with
firearms anyway, right?
firearm.
It was found in your room. It was seen in your room. Coming out of your
They
room.
found it in the trash can though.
They found a trash can on the porch.
Yeah, I don't see how.
But they saw it come out of your room.
No.
Same guy? Is this the same?
What about number
You
six?
heard me say shit.
Which you didn't get gainful employment. You didn't look for a job. Did you look for a job?
Yeah, I did look for a job.
Were you employed? Yes.
Yeah.
Where were you working?
I was working at the Sedmore.
Did you prove that parole officer?
Yeah, I did tell the parole off.
You showed him your check stub? Did you get paid by a check?
Yeah, I got paid by the check, yeah.
You showed it to your parole officer?
Nah, I ain't showed it.
Why not?
I don't know. I should though.
Yeah, you should. All right, let me see if my colleagues have any questions, Mr.
No questions.
Mr. Prater.
Questions?
All right,
I was right. I'm literally typing. This is going to be quick.
Keyshawn, you pled guilty to violating condition number 1 and 3, and based on the information contained in the record, you shared that room where the gun was seen coming out of. So I also find you guilty of number 4 and number 5. So my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. Mr. Frater
Concur.
and Mr. Prater.
Concur.
So
that was fast.
Sean, today your parole's being revoked for violating your conditions. Good luck to you, sir.
So it violated?
Yep.
He
Had a
laughing.
possession of firearm.
Look, I don't like that lady. She popping in. She talking about, yup, you got a possession of a firearm. That lady nosy. She know everybody's business. All right, so revocation, he was revoked. Look, they have him. Here's the thing, though. And I want you guys to really think about this. Here's my concept. Ride with me. So, big history person, right? And so what I'm gonna say is to piggyback off what I'm gonna say next, because the two viewers I have, you mean the world to me, right? You're here with me. You could be anywhere else. So first of all, and I mean this, I don't want to offend nobody, but so the first thing I'm gonna say, and this is real, color don't exist. Okay, color doesn't exist. You know, you could go back to a time. You can't really put a date on it, but you can go back to a time and place where pretty much color was created. I'm gonna tell you why color don't exist, and why it should, right? So, and I'm saying this so when I say next, you don't think that I'm coming from, oh, he's color doesn't exist, because when I do my DNA, when anybody does their DNA, I was so shocked at what I found on there, that I was low key kind of embarrassed. And I won't speak about mine, but my son did his, and he's like, when he get done looking at it, he was like, you know, Dad, when it boils down to it, I'm more white than anything. And I stopped him and I'm like, son, no, you're not. No, you're not, because unfortunately, and I've always told him all his life, you're JP, you're JP. You're not black. You're you, right? But I knew what he was gonna find, and my test just took it further. But when he saw it, I said that to him because it's about perception, right? And thank you for sticking with me. In 1495, when the Moors were released, da 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 da. Long story short, that country of Spain had a problem. They're like, I don't want to be Muslim. I don't want to be identified as Muslim. We don't want anything to do with it, right? So they expelled the Moors. They expelled the Jews. I'm saying all this, giving you a history lesson before I get deep, before this next hearing. And what they did is they had a concept. They're like, well, how can we separate ourselves and take it a step further, right? Because you have to think like the kings, if you really go back to the kings of England, without too much of a history lesson, a lot of them have a lot of Moorish blood, is whatever, because people didn't think of that. It was more about the line, right? But what they did was they came up with this idea. Tell me if it makes sense. They said they came up with color, and it's like, how do you sit around and think of that? But what they were able to do was color gave people that are otherwise disenfranchised, poor, ignorant, something to hold on to, like, okay, I can grab this. Because guess what they did? They turned around and they gave Portugal the right to go get the slaves up and down the north. Stick with me, right? Portugal got the right. So they started getting these slaves, right? And they took the ones from England, the Moors and all those, the first ones came from there, right? They took them, put them into slavery, and they made this idea of dark versus light, meaning you've got the Arabs and the blacks that were together. I come from a Christian background, by the way, but they came up with this concept. And think about it. If you are a poor white person, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Just be real. If you're a poor white person, one thing that you can attach yourself to, and the one ignorant thing, like what people say, like Rashard, they call, if someone was called, I would call me an N-word, I would laugh. I would laugh now, right? Because first of all, I'm educated, where I'm in life, and chances are they probably mow my yard. They probably cook for me. But that idea that they made back then, so many people are able to attach themselves to that fictional idea of color when it doesn't exist. If I have a baby with a white one, and then my child, which I have a son, is half white, and he has a child, by perception's eyes, that child that comes out after that is white. Is white. I asked my wife because she to test my theory. I said, okay. I was like, what color am I? She's like, you're black. I said, no, I'm gonna tell you I'm white, right? And I'm going to argue the fact with you. She's like, well, you can't. You're not. I said, what makes you say I'm not white? She said, your color. I said, okay. I said, you ready? She said, yeah. I said, is an Indian? What color is an Indian person? Hold up. I asked her, what color is an Indian person? Guess what she said? They're brown. I said, well, hold on now. Look at my skin. I pulled it up. And I'm part Native American, by the way, right? And Irish and all this other shit. But I pulled it up. I said, hold on, wait a minute. Now listen what you're saying. I said, look at this Indian person. I said, by skin color, he's not black, but I am. And she says, yeah. I said, and I asked the question. I knew the answer. I said, why is he not black? She said, because he's Indian. I said, there you go. Color doesn't exist. It's a made up thing, because here's the point. If there can be Asians that are Korean, blah, 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 why is there a perception of what is just corely black? Why would an Indian person not be black when India didn't exist before 1970 something? Talk to me. Talk to me. If India didn't exist before, what were they? If we were Indians here in 1492, let's get to it. What I was going to say is they like
Mr.
locking
Smith.
niggas up. They like locking niggas up.
Y'all are still on mute.
That's
Can
what I
you
was
get 'em to
getting at.
unmute the,
Thank you for hanging. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
there we are. Thank you, sir. And we're still at Richland, Mr. Smith. Would you, for the record, sir, tell us your name and DOC number?
Glenn Smith, DOC number 232255.
Sir, that's what I have. And so, you have the paperwork there in front of you, your parole revocation questionnaire.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So that, sir, says that you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed with that one today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to read the allegations against you, and then you should enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about, it's alleged you violated condition number 2, and the violation reads, you've not reported to your assigned parole officer since June 5th, 2025.
That's correct.
So you plead guilty to violating condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then number 3, the violation says you've not reported to your assigned officer again since June 2025. Attempts were made to contact you by phone and through collateral contacts with acquaintances and the program manager at the Redemption House without success. Then it was learned or established July.
All right, this is the last one, you guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the Still Smoking show right after this. Appreciate you guys rocking with me.
I plead guilty to it, ma'am.
And let me rant. Thank you.
Lastly, has to do with your fees. It says you're behind $602 in your fees.
But for real, it don't exist. You're my brother.
So tell us about it. What happened?
Well, ma'am, to be honest with you, I was wrong for leaving the Redemption House. I just lost my oldest daughter in the year of 2020, and my baby girl, she was sick, and me not thinking, I just left. I'm just being honest with you. And when I came up here, I didn't contact anyone or anything, so I'm just taking full responsibility of my wrongdoing.
I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your daughter and that the other one was ill, but you know, when I look at your record, Mr. Smith, I see what your offender class is, and I know you know the rules, and I just don't understand for the life of me why you didn't make contact.
I just wasn't thinking at the time because I was so concerned about my youngest daughter.
Nah, come on. Nah.
No.
That's gonna keep, how you gonna be concerned when you're back in prison, bro?
Let's see.
Nah. I feel
Why
it,
were you
but
behind on your fees?
Not working at the time. I hadn't worked at the time.
Did you buy a truck?
Ma'am?
Did you buy a truck?
Yeah, I did.
So how'd you do that? You know,
I was working and I
gotta
had some money into the parole.
I gotta go.
And just saving up a few dollars at a time and ended up getting a cheap vehicle. I did get a vehicle though, honestly.
He did get a vehicle, y'all.
all right, well, I'm gonna sit back and listen to the questions my colleagues have. Mr. Prater?
You realize how much time you're looking at?
Sir?
Do you realize how much time that you're looking at
Yes,
for
sir.
not abiding by the rules?
Yes, sir, I do.
How many times have you ever been revoked in the past?
Revoked on parole, I think twice.
Damn.
So you know the
Oh
rules.
boy.
Yes, sir, I do.
Excuse my language. How much time is he facing? Tell it, Steve.
I can't
Tell it, Steve.
I can't sit here and lie to you and try to make it look like I, didn't understand what was going on, and I just did wrong, and I apologize for wrongdoing. And sir, I really was so concerned about my youngest daughter I just wasn't functioning on anything. I used to, at one time I was so hooked on drugs, so I just didn't care about anything. And I haven't did drugs in so many years, and getting my life together, and the redemption house was a big help to me. And I
Nah,
would really like to get back there.
I hate that. I hate that, but I don't believe
I
him.
know you,
I hate that.
it's just so hard
Exactly.
because
And you know what?
you always got an excuse.
Can I be honest?
If I was to go back and listen to the other hearings when you were revoked before,
I'm gonna be honest, man. For the first it don't matter. But I'm gonna be honest. Like Steve Prater, the way he's asking right now, it's not typical Steve Prater. Meaning he's not asking to be facetious. He's really asking, like, dude, do you know how much time you're facing? Like when he's asking, like he's trying to rationalize it in his head. But I gotta say, us rational people gotta realize that. How did you become rational? How did we become civilized and rational? Being around civilized, rational people. We can't expect people to understand things we don't understand, like being rational. But here's the thing: we don't excuse it. I'm just saying, you got to be around that to know that, right? Seriously. So
boy, there's
thankful I
always
had
an
good parents.
excuse, and you're always gonna do better, and yet you don't. I don't have anything else.
Mm, this is
What
gonna
did
be
you
quick,
pay for
guys.
the truck? Just out of curiosity.
1900.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
All right. Well, Mr. Smith, I appreciate you being honest with us today. But as Mr. Prater said, you always have an excuse. I find it unfortunate that you didn't take the time to call because you knew the rules. And I'm sorry about your daughter's illness. And you did admit that you were guilty. I think, I have no choice this morning but to revoke your parole and encourage you to take advantage of whatever time you have where you're at. Right, you'll have time to ask us for another parole hearing. But maybe you can get some help with
I want to know how much time it's
programs
facing
if you
because
can where you're
Steve
at.
Prater's
My vote
face.
today is going to be to revoke
Steve
because you
Prater's
pled
face.
guilty to violating the conditions of your parole.
How much time, Steve?
Mr. Freeman,
Concur.
Mr. Prater. All right, Mr. Smith, I do wish you well. Good luck, sir. That concludes our business. We'll sign off at 11:02 today.
I'm literally interested to know how much time he's facing. Because again, I cover these all the time. Whatever Steve Prater's faces, I'm intrigued to know because he's genuinely bothered by his question. Do you know how much time you're facing? And I've heard people say things and like it's a joke or something like that. But I've heard people say it two different ways. People are in a hurry to go back to jail, whether it be because they don't know how to act, um, or they're ready to go back to jail because they have something waiting on them in jail. I've heard that. But I'm not going to say this situation either one of those, but it just boils down to not being rational and living in reality. And I think Steve was asking him like, dude, he's like, yeah, I know. How do you know? And you're facing this time and you do it in spite of. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. He will go back to prison to serve out his sentence. But like she said, he will be able to get another chance at parole. So we'll see how that one turns out eventually. So I think I want to do, we'll say one more, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the Still Smoking Show. I appreciate you guys hanging with me. It's rather early. I'm going to be honest. Lately, I've been up late, and I've been catching the European crowd. Last night, Trezell, I forgot what his name is. I'm his first subscriber. He had no people on his channel. It was his 50th birthday. And it's like 2 o'clock. I'm about sleep. He jumps in the chat and says, if you can get 2 women in here to smoke cigarettes with me live, I'll shave my head. I woke up. Man, what? I've been waiting for you, sir. And we start talking. I end up putting on some Irish music, the Hills of Athenry. Huh? And I told him I don't even drink no more, sir. I said, but for you on your 50th birthday, sir, since you're here, I'm a relapse for you. Had a good old time just in the chat and whatnot. So, I'm just appreciative because I am a very not so social person. I used to be. I used to be. But yeah. Parole one more time, you guys. We're gonna go ahead and do one more hearing, and we're gonna do the still smoking show. I have a question for you. Do men do men confuse access with ownership when it comes to women? That's the main subject, but we got news, we got all kind of stuff. But that's the question. Do men confuse access with ownership of women, meaning in a relationship? Do they think they own these women? When in actuality, man, chances are you don't realize that all we had really is just access, no matter what level of relationship you are in. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get back to this parole hearing that's coming right up. And let me know where you guys are at. Parole one more time. Let's do it. I'm here, guys. I'm going to smoke a little bit off camera. Because you know what? I do want to get monetized again one day. You heard what I said again. I got tricked out, lost my channel. But you know what? That was my fault. I will say that was my fault. I'm going to say that, YouTube. I'm going to say that. That was hurtful. You put in all that. Let me shut up. It's hard to get you people to subscribe. You heard what I said? You people, it's hard, man. I was there on my last channel. Oh, work. Here we go. Parole one more time.
Committee on Parole is called back to order. Our next case is Mr. Calvin Cotton. Mr. Cotton, if you would please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number.
Calvin Cotton Senior, 475209.
Calvin Cotton the Senior. Go
Mr.
check
Cotton,
on my
let me
wife.
explain our
I'll be back.
process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record, and then the board will conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we'll allow the participants who've indicated a willingness to speak to have their input. Speaking on your behalf today is your brother, Mr. Richard Cotton, and your friend, Mr. Jonathan Elam. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our process, sir?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Calvin Cotton, DOC number 475209. Date of birth is November the 30th of 1972. He's a first-class offender. He has an adjusted good time date of October the 20th of 2035, and a full-term date of July 22nd of 2042. He's currently serving 40-year sentence on the charge of manslaughter. Is that pretty accurate, Mr. Cotton?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cotton, your case was assigned to me, so I'll be the first one to initiate our interviews. How old are you, Mr. Cotton?
49.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges?
20 years.
Mr. Cotton, I've read all the reports. I've read your various statements to the police. So I'm going to ask you, if you would, after being in prison for 20 years, thinking about what really happened here, tell us today, and we really want you to be honest. We're not here really to retry your case, but we really want to know what happened here and how honest you are about what happened. Okay, so tell us as best you can remember what was going on with you at that time and why did you do what you did?
Can I have? I killed Edward Oliver from being stupid and inconsiderate of anything around me. On the day of November the 23rd, I got up, I fed the kids. I had like 5 kids in the house with me. I woke up, my son came in the room and told me that his brother-in-law had hit him. His uncle had hit him. John had hit him. I get up, I tell John, don't hit on my kids. So John leave the house. Then my sons told me they was hungry. I guess up. I feed them some eggs. They ate the eggs, everything. Then we all sitting in the room talking. Sorry. Then he asked me, could they have some chips, some potato chips? I gave everybody some potato chips. Gave everybody some potato chips. That egg was sitting on them, right here on side of me, sitting on side of me. And 2 years old. If I give one person something, I give everybody something. I gave them some potato chips. And if I don't give them the potato chips, I won't be sitting right here talking to y'all today. He went to choking on the potato chips, gets up, hit him on his back, pat him on his back, trying to get the potato chips to come up. But I'm patting him on his back. He went to choking like he was choking on, his eyes went to rolling back in his head like he was having a seizure as he was choking. I get on the phone, I call 911. I tell 911 what's going on. They tell me to lay him down on something flat. I laid him down and I went to doing the chest compressions. Went to doing chest compressions that I realized since I've been incarcerated, I took CPR. That wasn't the right thing to do. That was not the right thing for me to do. Somebody who called me his daddy, he called me daddy. And I took him away. I took him away from here for being careless of what I was doing. And I take into consideration never got the chance or the opportunity to apologize to the family, his family. I never got the chance to apologize to his mama. And I ask y'all to please, take in consideration that I really want to let her know that I really apologize for taking her son away from her.
Mr. Cotton, I see your emotions. I feel what you're saying. But that's about the third story that I've heard about what happened here. You told the police this story, and then you changed the story. Said you were in there doing marijuana, and you wanted to do some marijuana, and the little boy wouldn't leave. So you threw him off the bed, and he started seizing, and you started pushing. So, I mean, what's the real truth here? I'm having trouble finding why did you tell the police that at some point?
Miss Peanut, Sergeant Susan Peanut, turned this tape recorder off for 5, 10 minutes, maybe an hour. It's in my records. She turned the tape recorder off for about an hour and told me the jury would not buy that, what I'm telling you. tell the jury that you were sitting there and you reached over and grabbed him and he fell out your hands and he fell on the floor and he was, and you went to doing CPR. That's not, I'm telling you exactly what happened.
Well, where'd the marijuana come from? You told that story.
I did tell the Officer Peanut, that's exactly what's going on.
Well, were you smoking marijuana? Were you trying to?
No, I was rolling marijuana up. I was not smoking marijuana. I was rolling marijuana up when he went to
But you were rolling marijuana up.
When he
That's part of the story, which what you told the police is true.
I was rolling marijuana up at this end of the bed over here. He was at this end of the bed over here. I was over here and he went to choking. And right there, I turned over and he looked. And he was like he was going into a seizure. Like he was going into a seizure. Because we had just sent him to the hospital.
That's your story and that's what you want to tell me, okay? It's not sitting well with me. Because I'm going to tell you, what you just described to me isn't a crime. It might be negligence, it might be wrong, but it's certainly not a crime.
That's what they told me.
You went to the jury and you were found guilty of manslaughter.
That's what they told me. It wasn't, they told me it wasn't, Judge. I mean, Mr. Tony, they told me it wasn't. They offered me 2 to 5 years for negligent homicides. They offered me 2 to 5 years for negligent homicide.
Mr. Cotton, it bothers me that
Yeah, I'm not going to be derailed this time.
the story. Okay, let's just talk about what you've done since you've been in prison.
Oh,
Tell me what kind of programs you've taken while you've been in prison.
I took it.
You've done a lot of VOTEC work. You've done a lot of NCCER, the core curriculum, concrete finishing. You're a certified tutor. You're a reentry mentor. You've done a lot of things. You've done a lot of very positive things while you've been there. So tell me tell me some of the work you've done with VOTEC. Tell me what all you've done. You don't need to read no certificates. I got them all. Tell me what you've learned and what you hope to do with that information and that education.
What did I do with VOTEC?
Yeah, what have you learned and how do you hope to put it in place if you're released?
I learned how to communicate with people. I learned how to talk to, and I learned how to communicate. I learned how to be a submissive to authority, because that's one thing I had a problem with, being submissive to authority.
Submissive?
I did
don't know
not
about
like
all that.
listening to authority. I learned how to listen to authority, and
know
I
what that
learned how to
means.
communicate with others.
Because when you're a
and
grown
teach-
ass
and how
man
to
and you're
give
not
back
in
to the
prison,
little mentees that's coming to my program.
you see what I'm saying? Like
I
that's
learned how
like
to give back to them by sharing my story with them. So
What
they
other
could get,
programs have you taken?
sir,
Taking 100 hours of pre-release, thinking for a change, conflict management, cage your rage. What other programs have you taken besides those? Or what do those programs mean to you? What's the most important program you've taken while you've been in prison?
100 hours and anger management.
Okay, tell me about it.
Sir?
Tell me about why those are important to you.
Because 100 hours, it teaches you how to be a respected citizen. It teaches you how to be a part of community, of your community service, how you could give back to your community. And anger management really teach you how to know your angers, and when anger's coming,
and the only reason why I'm shaking my head, you guys,
when
because it's hard
anger's
for me to
come up,
listen.
and how you supposed to handle your
It's hard.
situation when you are angry.
Education is key.
A little bit about your drug use. I mean, you were rolling, you might have not been smoking marijuana, but you were rolling a marijuana cigarette. How long you been using drugs?
Judge, I've been using drugs ever since I was 6 years old. Marijuana, nothing harder than marijuana.
Since
I
I was
haven't
6.
used,
How
sir,
often did you use marijuana?
maybe like when I'm come get off of work or something like that.
How often were you using marijuana back 20 years ago?
No, you wait a minute. You crossed me up just then. You asked me how long am I using marijuana?
Correct. You said you started at 6, and I said, how long did you use it? You said just after work. I assume you weren't working when you were 6. So I'm asking you, how often were you using marijuana when you were 29 years old when this crime occurred?
About twice a day, about twice, 3 times a day. I didn't really keep up with it.
And how long had you been using marijuana 2 to 3 times a day at the time of the commission of this offense?
Oh, I'll say about. I really can't answer that question because I'm not understanding. I don't know what.
Now, the question is this. You were 29 years old when you killed this little boy.
Yes, sir.
Whoa, wait, what?
How long had you been using marijuana 2 or 3 times a day when you killed the little boy?
Oh,
year,
no.
2 years, 5 years?
I've been
Since you were
gone.
6? How long?
Too long.
Well, I agree with that, but you
Too
tell
long.
me the number.
5 years.
And what time of day was this that this occurred?
I say in the evening time.
So I assume from your habit, you'd already smoked some marijuana that day.
It was about 9 o'clock that morning, and it was on a Saturday.
Well, I thought you just told me.
I was just waking up. I told you my son came and woke me up and told me my brother-in-law had just hit him.
So what have you done to address your marijuana problem?
Are we really talking about marijuana right now?
I asked the Lord to take it away from me. And I haven't had a craving for no marijuana or no kind of illegal drugs or anything. Can I say something?
You've got the floor.
I brought with me today this mirror. This mirror I brought with me today. You heard me? The back of this mirror don't have no kind of facing on it. I can't see the back of the mirror if I hold it up like this here. But if I turn this mirror around and look inside this mirror, I see who Calvin really is. And the God that I serve right now, let me know no matter what I have did in my past, I have came to a knowledge that I know I have did wrong. But I'm not that same man this day. My thing is to show others not to go down this path that I'm going down right now. And I appreciate everything that this facility that taught me, and I appreciate the education that the facility that showed me how to get, and I appreciate everything that y'all doing for me right now. Because no matter what go on this day, y'all making me a better person. And I'm glad of that. And I appreciate everything that y'all did for me. From my
I
heart.
appreciate those comments, but I need to know specifically what programs have assisted you or might help you in staying sober. How do you intend to stay sober? Simply finding God is not the answer for me. I don't know about the rest of the board, but you need to tell me what your plan is to make sure that if I vote for you and you get out, you're not going to go back to smoking marijuana. And simply to tell me, well, you know, I'm not going to do it, found God, that isn't enough for me. So you tell me what your plan is to make sure that I'm comfortable that you're not going to go back out there and go back to smoking marijuana.
My plan is to be around positive people like I
Okay.
am now. I'm around positive people. I'm around security all the time, every day. I'm not planning on going back to that same neighborhood that caused me to have those, like a handicap to smoke marijuana. I have no desire for that. I have guys that came into my program who was on heroin, who was on crack. And I laid there and told them they had a pill to give them. And we have prayer. I believe in God, and I'm surrounding myself around nothing but positive people at positive times. That's the only thing that I could see.
That's the only thing. Positive people. I mean, you're going to be out in the world where you're going to have to deal with negative people. You're going to be in situations where you lose your job. You're going to be in situations where it's very angry provoking. You're going to get mad about things. I mean, you're not going to always be able to simply surround yourself with positive people. You're in a structured environment. You're not going to be in a structured environment back then. Why did you use marijuana when you used it back then, 20 years ago?
Judge,
why did you use marijuana 20 years ago?
Because that's the kind of environment that I was raised up in. My father always did marijuana, and I was always around my father when he did marijuana. And every now and then he'll pass something over to me or something like that. Not using that for no crutch. I'm not using that for, I did that. Not saying
No, you didn't.
he
You were
passed it. I
6.
could have said no, just like the average kids say no.
Are you
No.
a drug addict?
Sir?
You a drug addict?
I would say yes. I would say I was. I would say I was.
Was or still am?
No, sir. No, sir. Haven't touched drugs in a long time. And I could promise you, it's here.
Wrong
It's
answer
here
to
right
them.
now.
He wants to hear
If
once
I
a drug
choose to
addict,
go down
always a
that
drug
path,
addict.
trust me, it's not hard for me to go down that path. It's
Watch
two
what he
paths
says.
that you could go down in life. The right path and the wrong path. I messed up one time. I've been a failure to my family. I shamed my family for the last time. I'd ashamed my family. I'd ashamed my community. I'm not doing that anymore. When I came here, the warden Kane gave me a chance. That chance that he gave me changed my whole life. Changed my whole life. I see things that I didn't see at first. I got more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding about things that I just could not see. Because I
Nigga,
had
please.
nobody taking me down that path.
Yeah, I feel you. Me neither. Nigga, please.
I have positive people in my life now. Whether it's security, a lot of security is in my life, and they beg me, whenever or if you ever get out, Cotton, get with me. I have Mr. Breland. I have so many positive people in my life right now. I cannot let them down no more. I can't let them down no more.
Mr. Cotton, let me just tell you, I've read your report. I've looked at your report. You've got tremendous support from people. You've got an excellent work history. You are a tremendous cement finisher. You're a painter. You have a letter from the governor. You have a letter from all of the wardens that talk about how hard you work and how good you work. But there's some concerns I have, and you haven't addressed them yet. I'm concerned about your marijuana use, and you're diminishing what you did in this particular case. What you did and what happened to that boy was a direct result of your desire for drugs. Now you're shaking your head, yes, but that isn't what you told me earlier. You're claiming he choked on a potato chip and you tried to save his life. That's BS. I know it and you know it. You wouldn't be sitting here if that was true. Now, I'm going to ask you again, do you have a plan to stay sober? And if so, what is it? Besides staying with positive people. Have you ever gone through AA, NA? Do you have a plan for doing that?
That could be my plan. I could go to AA. I have no problem getting more help. If I feel I need more help, I would love to go to AA. I would love to do, I would do anything y'all tell me I need to do.
Well,
anything.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to ask you what you're going to do for you to make me comfortable to vote to let you out.
I'm gonna find more help.
I gotta go.
I'm gonna find some kind of organization to get in and find me some help.
Have you done AA in prison?
I think all that was in 100 hours.
Well, yeah, that's a program. But have you gone to AA meetings? Have you learned the 12 steps? Have you gone through all of the 12 steps?
That's in 100 hours, huh?
Do you know the 12 steps? Have you gone through your 12-step program?
No, sir. That's something that I need to look into.
Yes, I would.
That's something I need to look into.
Gordon, what can you tell us about Mr. Cotton?
I can tell you that he did do $100 of pre-release, but he didn't do any substance abuse treatment. Upon intake of him coming into the facility, he denied having any substance abuse history or dependency. So therefore, his it was the Lorna we was doing now indicated that he didn't need any substance abuse classes. So that was not a part of his plan to be in substance abuse.
So his comments when he first came in is he didn't have any sort of substance abuse issues.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any questions? Ms. Jackson?
All right, Mr. Cotton, good afternoon. I just have a couple of questions. Kind of marijuana, I mean, did you use marijuana? Did you use synthetic marijuana? What kind of marijuana were you using back then?
Just regular marijuana.
Regular marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
Why is it you were, who else, what other adults were in the house the day this happened?
No one but me.
And how many children were in the house?
5.
And why is it you were responsible for the 5 children?
Because I was responsible.
Well, that's okay. Why were you the only one there with the kids?
I don't know. Everybody, I guess they had left. I was the only one there.
Okay. Who all lived there?
Ma'am,
Who all lived there? Who all lived in that house?
Me, my wife, my mother-in-law, and my brother-in-law. It was like 4 adults and 5 kids. Two of them was my stepkids, and 3 of them was my kids.
Was Ed your okay? Stop talking. Was Ed your stepchild or your biological child?
That's somebody that I took in. His mom was finna give him away for adoption, and we took him in.
We who?
Me and my wife.
Okay. And how long had y'all had him?
Pretty much his whole life. He called me daddy.
Even though you're a first offender, one of the things I noticed on your record was that you've been arrested in the past for lots of incidences of crimes of violence. They're not convictions. I'm not saying they're convictions, but you've been arrested for crimes of violence. It seems to me, just from looking at the situation, that perhaps you had an anger problem.
That's one reason why I came in here and took anger management. Because I hated.
Before we get there, would you agree that at the time of this, you hadn't, when all this happened to that little boy, you hadn't had any anger management, is that correct?
Right.
You had been acting out in ways that displayed anger or aggression. Would you agree with that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I think what the children said was probably correct, that Ed soiled himself and you got mad and you punched him in the stomach. That's what I think happened. You had all those kids in the house with you. They were all asking for stuff, wanting stuff. And then you had this little boy who messed on himself, and then you had to deal with that, and you got angry and you punched him. I think that's what happened. Because the other kids indicated that there were times as punishment you would punch them sometimes in the stomach, chest area. But tell me what happened.
Miss Bonnie, I wouldn't have never punched no 2-year-old kid in his chest. I wouldn't have never did that.
Ever do that with me?
Now,
Did you ever do that with the other kids?
ma'am?
You ever do that with any of the older kids?
No, ma'am. I had 5 kids. I had.
Why do you think they would say that? Why would they?
2 of them were step kids. 2 of them were my step kids. 3 of them is my kids. Never punched none in the chest. Now, if you ask me, have I punched a human being? Yes, ma'am. If you ask me, have I ever did that? Yes. That's not me to punch on a kid.
All right. All right, Ms. Cotton, thank you so much. I appreciate your answers.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. We'll now hear from your supporters, Mr. Richard Cotton, your brother. Mr. Cotton, if you would please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about your brother.
My name is Richard Cotton. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
My name is Richard Cotton. I'm the oldest of 5 brothers. And my mother had to work and stuff like that. So me being the oldest, I had to babysit, change Calvin, and do a lot of stuff with Calvin. And I don't recall the drug usage at an age of 6 and all that, because I was there. I was responsible for him. Now, his dad was the type of guy that's what he did all the time. So if he did it away from us. We came up in a real Christian setting under my mother, with no man around after my mother wasn't, after his dad wasn't there anymore. My mother and my father had divorced, and we moved back to Hammond, Louisiana, where she got in relationship with Calvin's father. And he was basically what you're describing, or what he described as himself, is exactly the type of person that his father was. He not using it as a crutch, but it's kind of, the apple don't fall far from the tree. His dad was that kind of guy, and I was so glad that my mother was able to withdraw from that before we came up in that atmosphere as men, because she had 5 boys in the house. As men, we were able to, she was able to get away from that type of abuse for herself. I watched Calvin come up, and he was real hot-headed, like didn't listen, didn't want to listen, trouble and stuff like that, and didn't finish school and different things like that because of that road that he was going down that was agreed upon by his father, but not by my mother. Values with backgrounds as such. And I didn't see those values until he got incarcerated. those things started to come up. I started to see the change. I started to see a newness in Calvin. His talks were different. It seemed to have opened a wide variety of understanding for him. He started to see life in a different light. As I watched him through this process. When he got convicted, I was in Texas at the time. When he got convicted, I came back. I watched my mother suffer behind the fact that he was in jail and what was going on and what had happened to that baby more than anything. She struggled. So I don't know the details of what happened with that. I got called back about that, and I moved back. I didn't move back right then. She passed right before he got convicted. She passed away because it was too much for her. She was dealing with depression and stuff like that. So when I came back, I went through this process. It's almost like my family members were imprisoned with him because we had to go through this whole process with him. Not ever had to do this before. So I've seen a change. I see where that has helped him out a lot, and where a lot of things look like they're different. And one of the things that I encourage him about more than anything is accepting what happened, being able to acknowledge what happened, and being able to walk out of that in a positive manner with a different mindset from when you first came in. You know, I left when they were a lot younger. I moved out of the house and moved on my own. I got married young and stuff like this. So I'm hoping and praying that the new Calvin is who he say he is, and different things. I mean, he has a lot of support with there. I hired him with my company. If he gets out, he'll be working with me all the time. So I will be around and different things like that. If I'm blessed to be alive, I'll be around. And I expect and look forward to him to get more help and continue on that road that you all have given him the opportunity to take these different courses and stuff like this here. But you can't stop there. You have to get out. You have to get into other things that's going to keep you motivated to stay on the road that you're on. And those are the kind of things that me and my other brothers have talked about. Look, getting with finding out about other programs that they do have to get him motivated into those things so he can stay on that road, not allowing that lack time to come in and you to have that time to think about something negative or something negative to move in, somebody to stay on you constantly. Now he has grandkids he never had. All his children are grown now. He didn't have that. You know, he has a lot of other things that he has to deal with now when he comes out. So he needs to stay on that path and on that road to recovery, because it doesn't stop when you get out of prison. You have to continue to recover.
Wrap it up, Scott. We've got other people that want to speak. If you could wrap it up.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to thank you guys, because I really saw what it was, how he was and how he is now. And I really think that the change has taken place.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Elam, who is a friend. Jonathan Elam.
Yes, sir. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. All right. My name is Jonathan Elam. I'm 39 years old. I was a mentee in the reentry program. Like, I was one of the drug heads. It was 20 years, and I entered into the reentry program.
For some reason, Mr. Elam, you're breaking up. I'm not sure where you are, but we're having difficulty hearing you. You're breaking up.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right. I was in the reentry program, and that's where I met Calvin Cotton. I went into the concrete finishing school, and not only did Calvin teach me a great trade that I'm making lots of every day, that if you want something different out of life, you have to do something different to take his life for what he went through and what he was going through. And that helped me change my life. Calvin Cotton's greatest. Like, he spent every day with me, not only teaching me my trade, but teaching me different values of life to where I would want something different in life. Yeah, that for me. And can y'all still hear me?
Well, we can, but you're breaking up. So if you could wrap it up as quickly as you
Yes,
can.
sir. Can y'all still hear me?
Well, you break it up a little bit, but we can hear bits and pieces.
Well, I spent 3 years with. All right, I spent 3 years with Calvin Cotton. He's a great man. He taught me a whole lot about life. His greatest joy is helping people, and he embedded that in me. And that's what he done for me. I've been sober 3 years now. I got a great.
Mr. Elam, we seem to have lost you, but I believe that we all understand the gist of what you're saying about Mr. Cotton. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Cotton, is there anything you'd like to say before the board votes?
Just ask y'all to believe in me. I haven't let them down. I've been a trustee 15 years, and I haven't let them down. I just need y'all to believe in me and show people on the outside the new Calvin. I don't need them to remember the old Calvin. I need to show them the new Calvin and give back to my community. So if y'all find it in y'all heart, just trust in me. I promise you, I won't let you down.
Thank you, Mr. Cotton. I appreciate your comments. That was. Okay, Mr. Cotton, I'm not sure why you're having difficulty. Perhaps it's the time, perhaps it was the marijuana, perhaps it's just the emotions of what all went on, but it seems to me you're having a difficulty accepting what really happened on that particular day. I'm not going to dwell on that. That happened 20 years ago. That is a concern of mine. But my biggest concern here is your drug use, your marijuana use. I think you downplayed it. You downplayed it a little bit to me. You certainly downplayed it to the prison because you came in and said, no, you didn't have any kind of problem. You didn't need any kind of drug rehabilitation. But let me tell you what I see on the positive side. I mean, you have got some wonderful letters of recommendation. You have done all the things that you said you've done. You've helped a lot of people while you've been in prison. Mr. Elam, who spoke just a few moments ago, he's been sober for 3 years. He's working on a job that you helped him get. You've done some tremendously positive things for people in that prison. You were a mentor. You did tremendous work for the governor. All of your wardens commend all of the work that you've done. You've accomplished that. But there's a piece that I'm concerned about, and that's the drug use. I don't think you have a real plan. Believing in God is a wonderful thing. Staying away or trying to be with positive people is a wonderful thing, but you need some tools to be able to give you the tools to be able to stay clean when things get kind of tough. You know, a lot of people might say, well, marijuana is just marijuana, but you know, everybody that comes here with a drug problem started out with marijuana. You know, you've worked so hard. This is a hard case for me. I came in hoping, number one, that you were going to tell me you had a whole plan for your sobriety, and number two, that you were going to admit basically what happened. I was disappointed in that. But I'm not disappointed in what you've accomplished because you've done a tremendous amount of work while you've been in prison. There's no question about it. I believe you need some long-term drug treatment. I think we've got a program. It's Steve Hoyle. It's what happened. Maybe that's part of the problem why you just can't come to grips with what it was. But I'm more concerned about your need for tools to stay off drugs. So I'm going to grant your parole conditioned upon you going to a long-term drug treatment program in the prison, which is the Steve Hoyle program. I'm going to recommend that the warden or anyone else that we can get our hands on. Are you frozen? Are you still there? Okay, I didn't know whether you had froze up or not. My vote is going to be to grant, based upon all of the things that I've said, all of the things that you've accomplished, all of the letters, all of the positive letters that you have had. You've been a mentor, you've been a tutor, all of those things have been tremendous. I just think you need some work with your drugs. So my vote is to grant today, conditionally upon your going to Steve Hall, completing that program, and then when you get out, to go to at least 3 AA meetings a week or more recommended by the Steve Hall program. So that would be my vote today, but I'm only one of you. Ms. Jackson?
All right, Ms. Stein, I concur with everything Ms. Marabella said. You have been a positive influence within the institution, helped a lot of people, and a lot of people think highly of you. So my vote today is to grant condition upon completion of the Steve Hoyle substance abuse treatment program, and with the conditions imposed by Ms. Marabella once you're released. Good luck to you, Ms. Stein.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
I also agree with my colleagues. I'm a grant condition on finishing that all program. I do want to commend you on the work that you've done inside the prison. Try to keep that anger under the control. They'll help you with that a little bit at Steve Hall also. So that's my vote.
Mr. Cotton, I'm sure you're a little disappointed because you're not getting out immediately, but once you complete that program, you will be out. You'll be able to go with your brother. They'll be able to help you. You've got a good transition plan, so good luck to you.
Thank y'all.